Islam. Islam, peace and love. Happy Holy Venus degree to everybody. I am Brother Hasan Bey, all rights reserved.
Yay, yay.
And of course, I'm with my great and magnanimous brother, and he is.
Indeed, y'all. Namaste, namaste, namaste. Islam, Islam, Islam. I am Brother Hasan Ghaziel Bey here in Morocco at northwest of Mexico. How are you? Happy Holy Venus degree to you all. Let me pull my chair up. Pull my chair up. Pull my chair up. Right? All right, let's get this. Let's get it going, man. Go ahead on your introduction. I'm going to share on out to a few people, few groups. Let me share this out to our jurisprudence gym loved ones also. I yield, bro. It's fine.
Indeed, it is the 27th day of the first month of the fiscal new year, right? January 27, 2023. We're actually doing rules for who to, right? So we're just going to go over rules, show you guys basically how the state governments put their legislation into statutes and then or codes, right? And then they further put it into administrative codes, right? So we're going to show you the connection with that, because that's actually going to be important for you. Because a lot of times you think you have a full bird's eye view, but then you fly up a little higher and then you look down and you see more. So when you keep studying, keep learning, keep growing, keep finding information, right? Keep going through this information and dissecting it, fine-tooth combing it. The more you do that, the wider your view is of the whole picture. You see what I'm saying? So it's like getting in a hot air balloon. You just keep going up, you start to see more of what's actually taking place. So it is important to be, I guess, savvy with your research. So you got to know that everything that the state government does is laid out by statute. And if it's not, they're not supposed to be doing it. And just because it's laid out by statute doesn't mean that they're supposed to be doing it, because there is what's called color of law, something that has the appearance, the semblance, the simulacrum of law, as distinguished from that which is really law. So, yes, so one may be familiar with the, it could be the annotated code, or it could be the revised statutes, or just the statutes of, but then the administrative code. So, for example, if the annotated code created office of, construction, just making, for example, government office of construction. Well, that government office of construction will create their policies for how they're going to carry out their duties under that chapter that they were created under. And now the rules that they create to carry out their duties under that chapter becomes kind of like a mirror of that, annotated code, but as an administrative version of it, so to speak, right? And then you find more definitions there, and it's just, you don't want to deal with a situation when you only have the annotated or only have the revised statutes. You should definitely take a look at the administrative and just get a feel for, the connection between the two. So that can be definitely utilized as a self-defense tool, right? So definitely, and we're going to do that with we're actually going to get into the Maryland annotated code today, and then we might touch on the Nevada revised statutes a little bit.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to like, from the inspiration of Brother R, just going in really hard with the Nevada revised statutes legislative and the Nevada administrative codes executive, right? So that you guys can see like the joinder within, like, how you have like a smaller doll inside of a doll, and then that doll is inside of another doll. Some people call it a babushka doll or a nesting doll, and see how there's a mirroring, but on a deputized level, on a lower level. If there was like a manager, an assistant manager, right? The federal would be the manager, the assistant manager would be the state, and then the shift manager would be the municipal, right? Or for those that know it like this, the grand sheik, right? Or let's put it like this, the presiding officer, right? The prophet, right? Would be federal, so to speak. Just in comparison, the Grand Sheik would be the governor for the state, and the assistant Grand Sheik then would be those that are on the municipal level, so to speak, if you look at it like that. However, look at it on a linear level of somebody's writing it, and whoever wrote something, somebody's got to execute it. In other words, fulfill that obligation and complete it with what's been written. And then somebody's got to check to make sure it was done fairly. So those three things are called LEJ, right? Legislative, executive, judicial. And so there are legislative, codes. So for example, for like Maryland, it's the annotated code of Maryland by the Maryland General Assembly legislature. Yeah, General Assembly, General Church, because Assemblea in Moorish Latin is just like Iglesia, church. Again, it's already against our religion. So, and this is not, encouraging, a spirit pertaining to, oh, that don't pertain to me. No, this is dealing with, oh, look, we don't qualify. All right. So look at the Maryland Annotated Code. Maryland Annotated Code is clearly legislative. So legislation wrote something. Who's gotta act it out? Who's gotta fulfill it? Who's gotta fulfill it? Okay. Those that are enforcing administrative code. That's the executive branch. And the rules to make sure that things are balanced and done effectively, there's obviously some local rules, some court rules, some judicial rules, right? And usually those are like the rules of Maryland when it comes to judicial stuff. We could get there also. It's a possibility. However, I think what people need to really see is when executive employees are looking to force specific performance on other sentient beings that are not executive employees, you all need to see that that's a fucking problem.
Big time.
Like a huge fucking problem. And if you don't get that, then you're a casualty of war stuck in belief. If you think you're a white man or a white woman, or you think, I'm a realest nigga alive, cool. All you so-called white folks, all you so-called niggers, blacks, coloreds, Ethiopians, whatever, all you that are under the colored mindset are casualties of war. You don't deserve this. So those of us that know this actually know to not impart it to you because you're ignorant. We'll read Religious Controversy also. We're just prepping you guys right now. Let you know what we're going to go over. Of course, since it's a holy degree, we will be getting into our invocation in term to Moorish American prayer. The 2 letters to be read in every meeting. However, like I said, I'm just sharing out to a few of our loved ones right now because I would like people to, sometimes I don't get it shared out to them till afterwards. So I just want to make sure they can get, this link now. I want to just share it out now. So we're just going to kind of just give you guys a little bit of what we're speaking on right now so that you can really comprehend what it is that we're going in on. If you don't comprehend as we're going in on it, what it is that we're speaking about, that's on you, right? And you just have to recognize that you just may be a dumbass. You know what I mean? That's all. It's nothing wrong. That may be your lot in life. It's no need to get offended and wonder why, it's being said the way it's being said. You guys are allowing people to try to force you into courthouses and make you think that you have a court case when you've never qualified for it in the first place, actually. However, if you're out here jugging and finessing, thinking you're being slick, you're out here creating bodily injured victims, a corpus delicti, then maybe you deserve to have those administrative codes exercised on you and not really know your remedy, actually. Because the way I see it, if you have a colored mindset, both so-called black people and so-called white people, which neither of you are, unconscious Moors call themselves, it's funny because both of them are Moors, but the olive shade copper tone beings call themselves real niggers. No, you're not. Stop lying. A nigger is a chimpanzee monkey mixed with Moorish cells and genes to make the Caucasian. Stop trading places. The real black man is the Caucasian. You guys sound foolish and stupid trying to be cool with your gold on your teeth and chains around your neck and shit. Stop it. Seriously, you're doing yourself a great disservice. And I guess you just don't know it, or you don't care to know it, or whatever the case may be. Whatever. I don't give a fuck, honestly. I'm just going to say it will behoove you to really read what you're getting into first. Know who you are and who you are not. Right? I think I got that out to just about everyone. Did I? Let me make sure I hit all the bros. All right, got the bros, got the mothers, the elders. You know what I mean? I didn't send it to Brother Hammurabi. Let me send it to him. Right? I think we're good there. I'm gonna send it to Dr. Naila too. All right, Dr. G. Boom, there you go. All right. Yeah, because you guys really need to know this. A lot of you guys just want to be comfortable slaves. I just want to be a better slave. Oh, now that I know this, I can do this and that with, credit or all these other things. I just got finished talking to my little brother. Make sure you read the statutes and the administrative codes to what you think you're about to be doing, so you can cover your ass. Because you're going to have a problem if you think you're out here doing something that's right and don't really know. You're going to be probably registering with the state. So now you're going to be doing things at the pleasure of the governor of whatever state of corporation you're near. Because I don't want you calling my phone talking about, man, I just got into this. Can you help me out? Most of you people don't even compensate us. And we do the most assisting. There is no... Are there people in the chat yet?
Let me check. Let me check that for you. I got you.
And I'll still just say it for now for people in the future. I dare you, because I know the answer is no one. Besides 7HealStar and our loved ones that are there with Mother Malika at the Jurisprudence Gym at Lawful Living, besides us, who's really giving you remedy? Who's really enforcing the Constitution? And I'm not talking about no stupid ass consular general bullshit.
We got shout out Mother Malika in the chat, and then we got
Malika,
Antonio
come
Bay.
on in. I'm about to send Malika the fucking Zoom. Even though I know we still got to do the invocation in the Moorish American prayer and stuff like that, I'm still about to send Malika the Zoom. Because we're about to go in on this, Malika. Like, we're not playing. And I'm open for correction, too. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm straight about to send this to, you already know, Malika, I'm going to send it to your Telegram. Because I think people need to know how to navigate this shit. Because people would much rather us wipe their asses for them. And you guys need to learn how to wrap the toilet paper around your hand, get enough so you don't poke your finger through the shit. You know what I mean? Like, you really need to comprehend how to do this shit. All righty? So with that being said, we're going to have some fun. Hey, Malika, peaceful greetings to you.
Hey, brothers.
We're going to go in. We're going to do our invocation, and we still got to do the Moorish American prayer and the 2 letters we read in every meeting. And then Malika, we're going to go hard on this shit. I'm going to start out with the annotated codes of Maryland, and I'm going to do the COMAR. So the annotated codes of Maryland are like the RCWs, right? Like the revised codes of Washington. So that's like the statutes, right? Whereas COMAR, which is, to what I'm seeing, the administrative codes, the executive coding, is the codes of Maryland, right? And I just wanted to show how they're actually formulated, set up. So I'm actually on the actual Maryland General Assembly legislation. I already have it queued in my Safari or whatever. And I want us to really go in on this. And I'm pretty sure you guys will see that you can do this wherever the fuck you are. So you're not bothering me and Aura and Malika talking about, please do this for me. How about you learn how to wipe your own ass? Seriously, because a lot of people get into doing things and don't read the rules and the objectives first. Oh, I'm going to go get a driver's license. My brother R says, do you work for that state? And why are you going to get that state's business license? like Malika reiterates all the time. Like we really got nobody's doing what we're doing. Seriously. Besides 7HealStar Law,
it's because what we're doing doesn't work. Remember, it doesn't work. That's why no one's doing it. It don't work.
That's not what I see in my DMs.
Right.
It's beings in my DMs like, yo, it's no one's doing what 7HealStar is doing. No
if
one.
I show you,
What'd you say?
If I show you that email that Kelly just sent me like a few hours ago, like maybe 2-3 hours ago, you wouldn't say it's not working.
Exactly. And I'm just gonna say, when it comes to 7HealStar, when it comes to lawful living, I guarantee you, like, no one. And I'm saying that boldly. And then after, you guys gotta pay attention to your social medias out there. After we were on Dr. G's office hour with Dr. G, December 27th, 2022. It started a fucking wildfire because now everybody and their mama and their Yisraels and all this other bullshit want to act like they can do, I know how to do equity classes. I'm gonna sit your dumb ass down. Equity my ass. You don't know, you weren't even inspired because you had the and like for you assholes out there that, oh, let me go to lawful living and then I can try to remix this shit by what Malika has set up. You guys, you're fucking pitiful. You're horrible. You're just as bad as those people that set up Moorish American consulates to circumvent R.V. Bay publications. You suck. You fucking suck. You guys are fucking parasites.
And you're gonna fall on your own sword.
You're gonna fall on your own fucking sword.
They want to straddle the fence. They want to straddle the fence because living in private is a lifestyle. Living in private is having to sacrifice the mainstream system, and everybody wants to be mainstream famous. So it's painful for them to let that go. So they figure, well, I'm going to do some hybrid stuff, and that's what is dangerous. Because when you're straddling the fence, you're not on either side, and it makes you very vulnerable.
You straddle the fence, you get your shit split.
Basically, that's that English.
That's what I say.
Though, that's because remember, if you certain dictionaries say that Englishmen are mere hybrids. So it's like, look, are you going to look? English is commerce language. English is commerce language. So when we're speaking commerce, you're speaking about federally regulated trade or business, which is deputized within the state and the municipal arenas. So if the presiding officer, president for a corporation, and then when you're talking president, you're talking executive branch. Who the fuck is the president of the legislative branch? Who's the president of the judicial branch? Nobody ever, whoever, you guys ever think about them? Remember, the monarchy has been split into 3 branches because we fell, family feuding like dumbasses. If you don't know the history, you think I'm talking poppycock. Pause.
I want to know who's the president of the legislative and judicial branch. That's a good question.
You see, I mean, 9 times out of 10, I'm going out on a whim here. I'm open for correction. Let's see. Probably the vice president of the executive branch is dealing with, because when you're talking legislature, you're talking about the House of Representatives and the Senate. Am I wrong here? I'm open for correction.
It is the House of Representatives and the Senate.
So what about the Attorney General?
I mean,
what are they the general of? Are they on the legislative branch? Not a legislative, the judicial branch?
It looks like the Attorney General to me would be someone who would have to operate for the presiding officer of the executive branch under the refereeism of whoever the chief fucking judge is of the judicial branch.
Well, really, each court has their own chief judge. So Supreme Court has their head, the district court has a chief judge, even the municipal court has a chief judge.
Yeah, they got a chief magistrate, chief judge, chief justice. So it's like, okay, so we're talking about chiefs on the judicial
Okay,
level.
they call them chief executive officers of courts, some
Wow.
of them, but does that mean that they don't have like a state head? Or
means
does
they're
that
that means
mean the
they're a
state head
corporation.
is still, say that again, R?
That means they're a corporation because that's a CEO.
Yes. In here in Washington, it says that the sheriff is the CEO of the county. It literally says that in the statute, in the RCWs.
That's chief executive officer right there.
Yep, chief executive officer is the sheriff, according to Washington. So
Wow. So I
in
mean,
in Texas, it comes up as as a manager.
wow.
Yeah, we see that
Wow.
sometimes too, like city managers.
I think near
Yes,
Kentucky
city
State
city
Republic,
managers.
I think near the Kentucky State Republic, well, Kentucky Commonwealth, let me say it like that, or Commonwealth of Kentucky. Like when we were looking up stuff from McCracken County, the head of the county is known as a county executive.
Oh, I actually did find a chart for Nevada. Like it's all
Who's still
online.
CEO. But go
There's
ahead,
actually a chart online. I have to go find the reference again, but it breaks down the whole state. Or like the county, all of that is in the state. The governor has the authority to create like new counties and new what else? New counties and new, I think it's like cities.
So then you're saying there is no judicial branch, because if it all goes under the governor, and the governor is the president of the executive branch, like Hasan just said, that means every other officer is under the executive branch.
That's what it sounds like to me. Even
So then
Yeah,
all you
because
have is the legislature, aka the General Assembly, and then the governor.
so
it
then
is
there's
it
the
is
lieutenant governor. Then just pardon this for 1 second, and then I got to use the little Moore's room, and you guys get that on the record. My thing is then if the vice president is the head of the legislative side, even though he's the vice presiding officer for the executive branch, then is the lieutenant governor, for example, like Aruna Miller for Maryland now, right? Is she now the one who supersedes any, like just oversees, I mean, things for the fucking legislative branch? Then for, you know what I mean, when it comes to the General Assembly, then who's the one overseeing the Senate and the House or whatever, so to speak, for that? You know what I mean? However they would look at it. You know what I mean? Who's that? Is that Aruna Miller? And then Wes Moore is the governor, who is, we already know, as you reiterate, Malika, the commander-in-chief, and then the commander-in-chief over the government. And then it's John P. Morrissey, who's the chief judge on the district level, because we're talking about the District Court of Maryland, so that's state level. So are the three heads now the lieutenant governor, the governor, and the chief judge on the state level? If that's the case,
it
then
might be, because in Illinois, a lot of like how the implementation of the Housing Act under Title 42, USC 1437 K is the lieutenant governor, and they spell it out in Illinois. It says the lieutenant governor enforces this here, but that's like HUD and stuff. That's not necessary.
So I would say,
that would still make every single thing executive and nothing, and they're only using judicial procedure under the executive, not necessarily having a judiciary.
Okay, so if we look at executive, we say who's the head of the executive, right? We already know it's the president on the federal level, and on the state level it's the governor. If we say who's the head of the legislature, we already know on the federal level that the legislature consists of the House and the Senate. So we know that who's the head of the House and who's the head of the Senate. That's what we got to look at. And I think it's the House Speaker. I think is
it's the Speaker. The Speaker is the head, but that doesn't necessarily make them like, I mean,
they don't have the enforcement power of the executive. I get what you're saying.
Which is like the vice president. That's why I said the vice president is over top of both of those. I mean, right there.
So that means, okay. So we can say legislative is like thought process. Executive is action. It's like the carrying out of the thought process. And then the judicial would be like what?
It sounds like it would make the judicial yet another process.
Another form of
like
action.
A process of adjudicating between the legislative and the executive.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. It's like the balance between the two. Because it's a balance between the two, because we have the thought process, the legislative, right? Where we thinking of, oh, how we want to govern this corporation, right? And all of its agents. Then we have, okay, so then we're going to carry it out. All right, let's carry out through the executive, through the administrative codes, right? And then the judicial, I've always interpreted the judicial as being the interpreter of the laws. So like the laws are created, they have
Of
their
whether or not the executives are following the legislative instructions.
right. Of if
Okay.
who's in harmony with what the law as it was written, right? As its intent, as because they have what's called the plain language of the statute, right? So we have the
Right.
plain language of the statute, and then we have the legislative intent. So
Yes.
those two things, the judicial department is supposed to weigh, and then they're supposed to weigh the actions, which would be the executive carrying out that. Do the actions weigh properly with the thought process, right? And the intention, right? And the plain language, and anybody under that. So that probably would be like, I guess, like an extension to it's like the balance between the two. Look at it, actually.
Islam. So look, let's knock this out and then let's go in, bro.
Islam.
Right? Malika probably come back in. It seemed like I don't know if she had to answer the phone or if she had to charge her computer or whatever, but this is good. We're going to go over this. And it's interesting too, speaking about statutes, and she was bringing up Illinois.
I got a call coming in. Should I take it? I think it's MV Energy.
Go ahead, see what it is. This is Impromptu Improv. Let's do it.
All right.
Let's see what's good.
Hello, this is Eric Riley calling on behalf of EOS Fitness with an important.
Oh, never mind. This is
okay.
Some robot. All right, I thought it was because they're supposed to be calling me back. But anyways, continue.
All right. So, and it's funny that, Malika brought up about, near the Illinois State Republic, because if you look here on page 49 for Moor's Holy Temple of Science Administrative Function, you can see clearly, and I mean clearly, that our authority pertaining to the Moorish Holy Temple of Science adopting as its corporate name Moorish Science Temple of America, it's filed. It's recorded in book 521, page 579. Why? Because those that are Moorish Americans are under the statutes pertaining to the Illinois General Assembly. No, not to my studies. That's not how I see it at all. What's happening here is I'm seeing that Prophet Noble Drew Ali was able to meet someone in the form pertaining to Lewis Lincoln Emerson, who went from Secretary of State or State Secretary for Illinois to Illinois' governor, which is what you're going to see. We're going to read in these letters to be read in every meeting. You guys are going to see that. All right. So with that being said, we're going to actually go over this, right? I just want you guys to make sure you pay attention when you read your authority. Mm-hmm. Make sure it says Moorish Holy Temple of Science 4 times, not Moorish Science Temple of America, adopted as its corporate name, Moorish Science Temple of America. That's crazy. That's crazy talk.
Of course.
You want to leave the European here long enough to teach government? Cool, great, fine. Let's say now we're really analyzing this. We're sincerely analyzing this. It's not a game and we're not playing. Therefore, be clear on what it is that you're involved in. What do I think I'm involved in? I think that Prophet Noble Drew Ali is protecting our birthright by putting in a corporation religious affidavit of organization, form number 1099, right? State of Illinois, County of Cook, right? All of that. I see that. I see it right there. SS, which means synopsis series for the Treasury Department. That's what that SS means, synopsis series for the United States Treasury Department.
We pulled that up in the abbreviations dictionary.
Shout out to Mother Delilah Pasayel. She was the first one that pointed that out to me, and I was like, and then Brother R confirmed it. 1928, August 1st. And it was about 1,400 hours and 52 minutes when it was recorded, because it says PM, post meridian, 2:52. So we got a date and a time. I've even casted charts on this. Like, wow, this is amazing. So when it comes to the authority from which I speak, I know better that this is in perpetuity. Prophet Noble Drew Ali put something in that cannot be stopped. And any and every time somebody try to stop it, circumvent it, do something different, boy, they end up holding flags on 95 or being pinned on guardrails by 10 brown shirts near Charles County Corporation.
Yep.
Every time. Trying to take charge of the situation. Or they end up being high somewhere near what they call Canada. Sincere Moors call it Canaan land. You know, those that are true and faithful. You know, not like Toronto trolling it.
Right.
Nothing worse than a Toronto troll. So you guys got to be clear on what this is. Because again, which one is there any? There's no Grand Sheik out there, period, that's doing what we're doing. And we don't want any titles. We're doing the work. I remember when some Bay Area guy who seems to never wear a fez, it's like the Kirk Franklin of the Moorish movement out there. Some Grand Sheik who asked me to be his assistant Grand Sheik. And I was like, respectfully, bro, cool. But no, I do the work. What work you need done? Because I already know, as long as I do the work, it's a wrap. I don't need that title. Because I'm going to do the work. And then I'm going to do the work and do circles around you doing the work. With my bros.
Man.
We're going to do circles around you with my bros.
Oh yeah,
So
I did send it. I'm gonna send it again. We also got a treat. We also got a treat for y'all today. You know, we always bring the treats.
Treats.
We got some news about a judge who died by suicide.
Died by suicide. How dare suicide just pop up and things like that
and make her die, right?
Indeed. Shout out to everyone in the chat. I know Malika probably come back. What I didn't cut your wisdom, bro. What you saying?
You good? No, you good. Go ahead.
Shout out. I know Malika, like I said, she'll come back. I know she still got the link or whatever whenever she can come back. I see Antonio Bay, R. Brooks. I think R. Brooks may be my bro. He's the wizard. Brother Bruce. That's Coat. What's going on, Brother Bruce? That's Bruce Coat Bay. Janelle Blashout. Hey, mother. Peaceful greetings to you. Happy Holy Degree to you all in Tyro Bay also, right? So let's get it, right? Let's do this, right? And like I said, Malika, you come back in, just click the link. It is what it is. Because I saw you had abruptly went out. I heard that Zoom ding when someone leaves, so it's all good. All right, let's do our invocation then, guys. Let's do this, all right? I think it's me first this time, bro, and I think you close out this time, right?
So that's fine.
Yeah, I think that's how it's going. All right, guys. So we're going to stand and face east. You see, like, Prophet Noble Drew Ali's feet is there. If you can see it, he's standing on his 45, handsomely in his abba and Moorish Shari's fez. And we're going to do the invocation in turn, the Moorish American prayer that's there at the bottom of page 48 within the Moorish Holy Temple of Science Administrative Functions book. We're going to extend all 5 appendages on the left hand and just the index and middle appendage on the right. Going to face east, which is symbolic, metaphysically speaking, pertaining to going within. All right, you can repeat after me aloud or in your heart. Islam. Islam. Allah, the Father of the universe.
Allah, the Father of the universe.
Father of love.
Father of love.
Truth.
Peace.
Freedom.
Freedom.
And justice. Allah is my protector,
Allah is my protector,
my guide,
my guide,
and my salvation.
my salvation.
By night
By night
and by day.
and by day.
Through his holy prophet,
His holy prophet,
noble Drew, Ali.
Drew Ali.
Ameen. All righty, guys. First and second letters to be read in every meeting. I'm going to yield the floor to my beloved brother, in whom I'm well pleased, Brother Ghaziel Bey. And we're still in administrative functions, right? I yield, bro. Islam.
The following is a letter written by Prophet Noble Drew Ali on the 18th day of January, 1928 AD, commanded that it be read before every meeting.
Shout out to you too, brother Derek Blash Bey, Islam.
Administrative functions, Moor Science Temple of America, Home Office, 3603 Indiana Avenue. Noble Drew Ali, founder, Chicago, Illinois, January 18th, 1929, to be proclaimed in every meeting. Dear brother Islam, I'm glad to know that I have a few faithful Moors among you all, and I desire for them to know the truth and the divine truth, that there is a host, pardon me, I was making it a run-on sentence, and the divine truth. There is a host of jealousy about me in the movement now by the same people of our side of the nation that claim it was only a joke and unreal. But now, since they have found out from the government officials and the nations of the earth that this is the only sole foundation that all Asiatics must depend upon for their earthly salvation as an American citizen, they are working every scheme that they can to disqualify me so they themselves may take charge of the situation. I have notified all these things to you long ago in the past. It is through the faithful Moors that contribute to the movement and uplifting funds. The ones that pay their divine respect to me and the movement will be remembered. That is why I am calling upon all faithful Moors to increase their faithfulness to me, your prophet, and your divine Moorish movement. I need finance, and I need it bad. Never before have I needed finance as badly as I do at present, that I may shove aside the discord that is facing the nation. It all comes through jealousy because of my fame and nobility. The nations of the world will not recognize the movement without me, the prophet, being the head. It has been proven by my work in which I have performed in the last few months, because I was at the governor's inauguration to represent the Moorish Divine and National Movement, and I will be at the inauguration of President Hoover for the same cause.
Noble Drew Ali. All righty, guys. I'm going to go to the Moorish literature now, right? Excerpts from the Moorish Guide newspaper, pages 12 and 13. And again, we see Prophet Noble Drew Ali standing there handsomely, right? Standing due guard in his Moorish Sharus, Fez, and Abba. Divine warning by the prophet, right? It's the second letter to be read in every meeting. Divine warning by the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Prophet warns all Muslim governors, right? Ordered to read proclamation at each meeting. I hereby inform all members that they must end all radical and agitating speeches while at work, in their homes, or on the streets. Like Brother Todd said, Hasan, the internet is the new streets, all right? So, yeah. So, I mean, on the internet too, guys. We are for peace and not destruction. Right? You see this? We're for peace and not destruction. Stop flashing your cards at Europeans. It causes confusion. Remember, your card is for your salvation. Failure to obey these orders will be of severe consequence. We are love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And when these principles are violated, justice must then take its course. Any member or group of members who hold the malicious feelings toward the temple or the prophet or violate the divine covenant of the Moorish movement will receive their reward from Allah for their unjust deeds. All Moors, all true Moors, will and must obey the laws laid down to them by their prophet. If they lose confidence in their prophet, they should turn in their card and button, cease wearing their turban and fez, and return to the state where I, the prophet, found you. This is a holy and divine movement founded by the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, and if the prophet is not right, the temple is not right. The prophet, therefore, is sending out the divine plea to all Moorish Americans that they do their part in protecting the prophet and the temple. This is an everlasting movement. Everlasting movement founded by the prophet through the will of Allah to redeem his people from their sinful ways by order of Prophet Noble Drali. All right. Man, I'm just thinking like, bro, maybe I should just really just get to it, bro. Where am I? You know what? Let me stop this screen record real quick. Let me just make sure I'm gonna send that, like, because I'm pretty sure. Just trust everything is good and all right. Make sure there's nothing going on with the fam when it comes to Mother Malika. However, I know she'll come through. She'll be back, and let's just go in, bro. I mean, I should just go straight to it, right? And what was you saying though before we was getting started? You were saying you was looking up something or thinking about something when you was going over it, bro. You was just going over.
Oh, I was thinking about showing the oaths.
Got you.
Showing the oaths and speaking on the judge that was found dead by suicide or whatever.
Oh yeah, we're definitely going to go over that. We can, yeah, let's bring that up towards the end. That'll be great to show.
Yeah.
Because it makes me laugh. It tickles me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what anybody thinks. It tickles me. Oh, some judge, she was in the judicial discipline review and she committed suicide. Serves you right. Shouldn't have been talking shit. Like,
yeah. No, for sure, she was already breaking the law because of the fact that the position that she was carrying and obviously they enforce color of law daily. But that whole thing is interesting because allegedly, her daughter was going to be prostituted, and she was like uncovering, I guess, a prostitution, human trafficking ring or whatever. And when she tried to report it, but when she tried to bring it up or whatever, have people investigate it, she basically got in trouble. But at the same time, there was some ethics hearing going on. There was judicial complaints against her with the Commission on Judicial Discipline. Don't know who filed those, but anyone could file those. You know what I mean? The commission could go at somebody themselves if they want to. It's funny how they don't self-activate in our defense, right?
I know, right?
Why don't
they do their job when one of them is like, I'm going to tell on one of us, and they're like, no, now we got to use the rules.
Now we got to use the rules that they were supposed to be bound by the whole time against them. Let's bind them now.
Absolutely. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, you can't be serious right now. Like, are you serious? Like,
yeah,
stop it.
I definitely, me personally, I definitely don't think it was a suicide, because what she was investigating was it had the FBI bugging.
Got you.
But I guess we'll present that a little further. But I was gonna say also, if you wanted to bring up religious controversy, because you did say that you were gonna bring that up.
Yeah. Join Prophet Noble Drali University. Yes. I'll just tell it. I need to check that out too. Just checking out those on lawful living. Okay. It is possible. All right. Paste. All right. Okay. So with that being said, let me come back to the chat. I'll just have the chat up behind me here. All right, guys. So let's get it, and thank you for the 10 of you that are here. I appreciate you. All right, me and my bro, we appreciate you. All right, just keep that chat up there behind me, guys, as you can see. All right, so let's get it. Let's have some fun here. All right, let me share the screen. All right, and let's just go in. And guys, what I'm about to show here, like Brother R has been showed you guys, this can be done anywhere, like Malika shows every Tuesday and Thursday with friends-in-law. right? This is what she's showing that we can do. All right, so let's just take it to Mega Leg. Let me stop. that's what it says in the URL. Megaleg.maryland.gov, right? So I'm here for a specific reason, right? So let's say like one of our bros was, you know, accosted, so to speak, written some form of citation. Like I have documentation, however, I'm not going to, you know, say the brother's appellation. I'm going to, you know what I mean, protect them as you know, as I do when I protect beings. However, I'm also doing this to encourage our brother, as well as all other beings, that you declare and proclaim your nationality. You say you're Moorish American. Okay, then you're gonna have to do what true and faithful, sincere, true and faithful Moorish Americans do. All right. So I was just having fun, you know, because Brother R was just, you know what I mean, he always is just turned up on going through the Nevada revised statutes and the Nevada administrative codes. And so it's inspiring all the time when bro, you know, does what he does. So I'm like, you know what? Let me see how it's set up for Maryland. Right. And I'll check all other ones. I have no problem checking for our loved ones that are near the Illinois State Republic, near the Kentucky Commonwealth, near the North Carolina State Republic, or whatever. Like, I have no problem with looking these things up. Right. Near the Ohio State Republic. Right. How could I forget too? Right. So with that being said, it's like, all right, let's check it out. Our loved ones near the California State Republic that sincerely study, you know, I just want to look the part. Sincerely study, for real, right? And, you know, give honor that, you know, even though we're here assisting Prophet Noble Drew Ali, again, we inspired you, you know, we inspired you to look at this stuff, how we're looking at it. We inspired you to do videos, how we're doing it. You're welcome. You're welcome. You know, because a lot of people need, you know, our type of mindset and motivation, bro, because we already know we're the best. I know, really think about it when it comes to music, writing, presenting, video editing. There's no one really holding a match to us, let alone a candle. Like, no one. And I like that. I'm damn proud of it. I don't give a shit what anybody thinks. You know what I mean? Because if it wasn't for our demonstration and presentations, then people wouldn't have the gumption or the backbone or the fucking testicular fortitude, to actually do what we do. Of course, they won't admit it out loud. It's like that post Brother Sean did when, you know, people in private and secret just going through our videos. Oh shit, lawful living. Okay, they said go to lawful living. Okay, now I gotta act like it's me with the not. No, you're welcome. We've inspired you when it comes to astrology. Like you remember, like we said, people never heard of draconic astrology. We go in on Antisha. I know we say so much and do so much when it comes to astrology and civics, that at the end of the day, man, like if you don't recognize that we inspired you, you see what I'm saying? We're conduits through which the inspiration from Prophet Noble Drew Ali and other elders. You see what I'm saying? And so we're just further being conduits. However, we also have our own way of thinking. And that's what you're about to see right now. And we're pretty sure you're going to adopt it. And that's kind of what we want you to do. It's just that we laugh at those that mimic us. And we're just flattered. We're flattered. Because, you know, the greatest, your imitation is just, let me say, it's flattering. Right? So with that being said, bro, so one of our bros is dealing with fishing, right? So I was like, okay, so that's natural resources. You know, we've been dealing with this for a couple of moon cycles. And me, I gotta admit, my attitude towards it is like, this shit is nothing. However, you know, we're all, as the brother has said before, working out of, you know, different hypnoses and mental conditionings that I gotta admit, I really don't have a lot of sympathy for. I just really don't. I don't have sympathy for it. I am very empathetic, and that's why I do what I do. I think the way I exercise empathy is by taking you to the record to fix your issue instead of playing the violin for you. I'm not gonna like, let me back you up in your misery with this violin. Like, I'm not gonna do that. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. How's that helping you? Can you imagine you were drowning and I would just go, oh shit, woo, woo, woo. Hold on, just take a breath. The next time your head goes above the water, no, I'm gonna jump in that motherfucker, pull your ass out and be like, yo, you good? Stay in the shallow end until you're ready to go in the deep end. For real. However, you say you're Moorish American, you're automatically asking to go off the high dive. 14 feet of water. And you better kick your fucking legs. Seriously, we're not playing. That's your only salvation, because there's no salvation for the Negro, Black, colored, African American, white pita. It's no salvation for you. The only white men that I see is myself, because I can see how many instances of me are here. So me and my brother, and then our other brothers, Brother Sean, Brother Corey, Brother Terrell, those are white men. Because we're talking status, right? And any other sincere Moorish American that's sincerely going to study, not having your hand held. Because I'm telling you, we hold your hand for a little while, then we're going to throw you in the deep end. You got floaties. You know what the floaties are? The floaties that be around your arm so you don't drown. Is the fact that you can contact 7HealStar and we answer you. The fact that we're not trying to get in your pocket, purse, or pussy. You're welcome. Stay afloat now.
Right.
You're welcome. Because everybody else is going to. I ain't gonna front. We had a conversation with the brother, because I had some questions. I had some questions for Brother Asir. And once I talked to the brother, I was like, oh shit, well, okay, well, I get it. Not my style, and his style, and my style ain't his style. However, I comprehend it. Couldn't really knock it, because the people decide to do what they want to do. Go right ahead, people. You do your thing. I still ask the question though. Can somebody please hear? Anybody that's in the chat, please. Peaceful greetings, Donnell, Mother Barbara, peaceful greetings, Mother Sahar. Oh, snap, Kuma in the chat. What's good, Kuma? That's Ty Correas. Anybody, I'm just asking, anybody besides 7HealStar, right? The brothers at 7HealStar and the mothers, because it's starting, I gotta admit, it's Mother Malika and her daughter Sunny. Let's just go with talking about who's at the top of that. Right? Even though she has a supporting husband and sons, you know what I mean? That she speaks of briefly at times. Besides 7HealStar and Lawful Living, right? Shout out to the beloved Mother Oracle for even introducing me to Malika and the loved ones at Lawful Living last year. All right? Shout out to you, Mother. To the beloved Mother Oracle. All right? Besides us, who is sincerely helping you? Who else can you call, DM, and no one's charging you $300 for a video, $1,600 over 6 months? I'll wait. Put it in the chat. Tell me who. Tell me who helping. Come on, tell me who. Please tell me. Who's helping? Come on, somebody gonna type something, please. It's 15 of y'all now. I love y'all. It's 15 of y'all.
I just wanna know.
Before I go and navigate these statutes and these codes for Maryland, please tell me who is helping besides the brothers at 7HealStar and the mothers at Lawful Living. I'm listening. I'm watching. I'm looking at the chat here. Let's see. Thank you for introducing us to Malika greatly. Oh yeah, Mother Janelle, you and Brother Dirk. Indeed. I already, once I had that conversation with y'all, I already knew what the deal was. I knew y'all was gonna have wheels on y'all heels and get to skating. I already knew that. You know? However, besides us, besides 7HealStar and Lawful Living, who else? I bet you can't name a Grand Sheik.
Uh-oh.
Not one. Not one. Who's helping? How we helping? You can get us on the phone. Not one. Who's going to tell you that the only reason we're talking about statutes, codes, and policies is because this is how you use this stuff against the people trying to charge you with statutes, codes, and policies. Do I have to go through the three first before I do this? Number one, you're Moorish American, because that's who I speak to first and foremost. However, I cannot negate our loved ones that's enforcing the Constitution for real. There are Albion sons and daughters that are associated and are members at lawfulliving.com, the jurisprudence gem. Shout out to Am Woman. Shout out to Bobby and Keith. Megan. Right? Albion sons and daughters that enforce the Constitution way better than any of your consul generals.
Yeah.
I dare you to say someone else is doing it. Who? Hey, go and put your favorite Grand Sheik. I don't think you're gonna do it. Go and run and tell them too, so they can make their next diss video. I guarantee you they ain't gonna help you with this. The only way they can help you is by, again, secretly watching our videos, secretly becoming members of Lawful Living, and then secretly acting like they knew this shit already when they know, what's the word? How do Americans say? Nothing. Fucking nothing. It's only but so long you can dick ride that Grand Sheik of yours, whoever they are. Because most of you more, especially on social media, you're not too confident in yourself and how you look. You're not too confident in how you think. Some of you are actually federal agents.
Federal agents.
Confidential informants that thought being Moorish American would make you a better confidential informant. Oh, we see you. We know who the fuck you are.
Man, I know. Man. Hey, bro, get ready to laugh. Because I found the definition of residential customer, but not in the state laws, of course. I found it in the utility, in the rules, the utility tariff. But it's so funny what they define it as, because what they define it as is like, you can't be that until you do. It's like they're defining it as something that you have to do first in order to be considered a residential customer. So how did they consider you residential customer before you doing that?
And guess what? He's not Grand Sheik or Muaba Bey. He's just brother.
Definitely not.
I'm just Brother Hasan Ghaziel Bey. Which one of your Grand Sheiks is going to? None. Grand Sheik, nobody Bey. Woo! Ain't enough turbans wrapped around fezzes. Ain't enough baseball caps with shades.
Yo, okay, so check this out. I mean, no, go ahead, do your thing.
Yeah, I'm about to go in. I mean, yeah,
man, bro,
pile it up because you already know. I'm just gonna set this up real quick so you can go in, bro.
Do your thing.
I just wanted to just put that out there to make sure it is fucking clear. It's clear. And we tell people last year. I'm telling you, the mother is in the chat. She already knows because she gave me the instruction. I did the instruction the best I could for 2 moon cycles, and then I realized the only way this is going to work is if we hit them in the head in the open. Period. Gotta hit them in the head in the open. That's the only way it's going to work. So when my beloved mother Oracle was like, yo, check this website out. And I heard Malika spitting the first time she was spitting. I said, holy fucking shit. She sound like how when I first was listening to Brother Taj, I was like, yo, these are my fucking thoughts in my head. I had no, it's other people out here that really ain't fucking around. Okay, I fuck with that. You see what I'm saying? Then all your little popular Moors out there reading books with highlighters, think their houses are light, think they're rising, but they're falling with the other Moriscos on highways. We invited all of them. I did it. I'm the one that made an Instagram chat. Hey, all you popular Moors, let me add you in this group. Check this out. And guess what? Somebody got some. I wish we had like fucking sound bites and fucking graphics, sound bites and graphics. So
you want background music, bro?
Yeah, and like rejection. I wanted the reject stamp to come up on the screen. Rejected. Because that's what we got. We got rejected, Malika. I'm telling you, last May, June. Oh yeah. Oh, you got this many followers. Okay. But like Malika said, some motherfuckers just want to be Insta famous.
So let me tell you guys what I just got off the line with that I had to go for 30 minutes. So
we're listening.
We got attorney tears to collect.
Holy shit.
Oh, get the bucket. Get the bucket.
They're crying.
Attorney tears. Okay.
They're crying because they actually put in, and for the record, that the plaintiff is dominating the court.
Hold on, is that Am woman again?
Yeah. Yeah. So they actually put the words in writing, guys. Could you believe that? They wrote, "You're dominating the court." They put it in writing and filed it on the record.
Is she doing it with fuzzy handcuffs, whips, and chains?
Jesus Christ. Dominatrix style?
Yeah, she's dominating the court. And they're crying. So people need to know a little bit about what's going on, because they were feeling hurt, injured, and so they concocted a story so they can try to go after her heart through her children.
That sucks.
They thought she was a research experiment.
Yeah, they learning that they're the research experiment, because we already had the cancel CPS class ready.
Mm-hmm.
And we did not know that they were going to retaliate in this way. But I'm letting everybody know that once you start kicking their ass, you start dominating the court.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe the fool put it in writing. Y'all about to see it. I told her to tag us when she actually scans or takes a screenshot of the letter to put it up there. But yeah, he's crying. He's like begging the court to do something, because a very simple thing that I never understood why I guess people just want to show how brilliant they are. But all of us know, right? If you're acting on behalf of a loved one, you're calling up their school, their doctor, or whatever. When they realize that you're calling on behalf of somebody else, what do they usually ask you for?
They want you to come in and show ID.
When they know you're calling on behalf of someone else, though, what do they usually ask you for?
Oh, power of attorney.
Power of attorney. Isn't that a simple thing?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, that's what the CPS worker asked Hasan when Hasan was speaking to CPS worker that came.
There you go.
It's
a preliminary thing, right? It's a threshold thing. It's a basic thing. It's something that is inconsequential, and it only becomes a big deal when you don't have it.
Exactly.
So
it's impliedly, pardon me, not to cut your wisdom, but it's impliedly required to carry out the representation.
Correct. It's a by the way type thing, but it's a necessary thing. So we are dominating the courts because instead of getting sidetracked by what the attorneys are saying, we're asking them for the authority to be speaking in the first place. And that is what is kicking their ass, because we know that they go to places like LexisNexis and other lead generation literally prey on people, pick and choose like they did to our house, because they knew a mall was being built down the street where there were only cows before, and they preyed on us. They selected our house for the proximity to that location. And what they want to do is appear to have been hired by someone. It doesn't matter if it's, no matter who it is, a bank, a trust, a hospital, a car dealership, any whatever. They want us to believe that the company, the corporation hired them. But according to the statutes, the only way the corporations can only act through their board of directors. So in order for an attorney to be hired to act on behalf of the corporation in any capacity, the board of directors would have had to have a meeting where they actually have in their minutes that they are selecting this man, this woman, or this firm to do a specific thing on their behalf. And that's all we're asking for. So this woman sued the county and the county recorder and the county prosecutor because she asked them to remove her property out of the corporate business use tax roll. And they told her that they wouldn't. So she sued them because everybody's property that is not for business use is only voluntarily on the tax roll. Correct. So that means that you can withdraw that request whenever you wish, because it's not mandatorily recorded. It's not mandatory to record private property.
And if they said it
was,
was,
upon the denial, she sued them. And now the attorneys are trying to show up like, the county was right because blah, 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 blah. Oh, yeah, whatever. We don't care. We're not going to talk about whether the county was right or wrong. We're going to just focus on where did you get your authority to speak on behalf of the county, since the county can only act through the board of directors, which is called the commissioners of the county. So all we need you to do, if you want us to listen to all this beautiful stuff you wrote down, is show us your authority to speak.
Period.
Okay, so question. Okay, because in my situation now, we scared the first attorney when we asked him to produce authority. So then someone for the operational staff put in a briefing memo and kind of like echoed what he said. So we called her out too. So now I filed an affidavit, right? An affidavit and a hearing request, because they straight didn't have the hearing. But I think that a significant aspect of them not having the hearing is because they excluded information that was supposed to be actually put on the record. So they were missing information, and there is no evidence to support any findings of all the crap that they're talking. So now that I put in my affidavit and request for a hearing, they construed it to be a petition for a rehearing, right? And then some attorney, now an attorney from the Public Utilities Commission, allegedly, right? He has put in a motion to dismiss my petition because guess what? They hadn't put the order on the record yet. So he says there is no order for him to basically say is erroneous. So you have to just, he started using the language we use, impossibility. He said, it's impossible for me to dispute an order that it doesn't exist. But
that's when I said they're learning from Aura now. It's like, hold on, we've got to, you make a hot song and then people want to start biting your style of your song and shit.
Right.
Let's start making songs like you.
That's exactly what he did. So now in his motion to dismiss my thing, he didn't say anything about me and he didn't say anything about my property. Only thing he said is that because there was no order, that my petition does not meet the requirements of NAC 703.801, which breaks down how a petition for rehearing is supposed to be brought forward.
Yeah, well, since it's not a petition for rehearing,
exactly,
we don't even have to discuss that. And then since you didn't show your authority to speak, I don't have to even talk about what you're saying.
So look, go ahead, bro.
I was gonna say, I immediately went and looked up everything pertaining to attorneys in the Public Utility Commission, and I found the statute that regulates that. And it says that they can prosecute for them. It says they can counsel, and they can one other thing.
Collect money on the judgments that they win.
Something like that. Yeah.
That's usually what it says. It's only 3 things. But the other thing they don't tell you is that's only for administrative stuff. That's not judicial.
Exactly. That's why we.
Right.
No, I'm not. I'm just gonna say this just to segue, because I think I want you guys to definitely put the icing on the cake and all of that. With that, right? So my portion is going to be brief, because I trust that what we're doing is a way to have the people to be able to even comprehend this conversation that's happening, right? So what I'll do is I'll go briefly into natural resources for Maryland, right? As an example of how to navigate statutes and codes, administrative codes. Then we can segue straight into what you and Brother R is talking about as far as Am Woman and NV Energy. All righty, shout out to Am Woman, right? For dominating the court. LeBron Am Woman.
Right. Attorney's
Am Woman
James. Wham. She's dominating the court. Someone call the wambulance.
Call the wambulance. Right? All right, so let's do this. I think you guys see my screen. All right, I know you're screen sharing too, because we can do that. So that's great that you had it. So when I stop my screen share, it'll immediately go to yours, right? All right. So and shout out to the 17 of you that are here. We appreciate you.
So do you guys? Do you see my? So are the people seeing my screen share right now?
Yeah, I'm seeing your screen. All right.
No, we're seeing it, but the people are seeing the Maryland General Assembly.
Okay, got you. Let me stop sharing so I can see too.
No, I'm just saying you were good. You could have left it up there. It didn't matter.
But I can't see what you're doing though. That's why.
No, you could have switched. Your computer has a means for you to switch to see which screen that's being shared to see. You can act. I'm serious.
Stop being on high tech.
Multiple participants can share. That's how I set it up. However, all right, look, real quick. So we got a brother, Malik. I brought it up in class yesterday, right? So bro didn't show up yesterday. We checked the Maryland judiciary, whatever. You already know they put a failure to appear or whatever, which I already know in my head. He never qualified to appear in the first place. However, it made me want to go into, because we went over this for quite some time, right? So I'm like, okay, look, let's look at this when it comes to natural resources. So here is the Maryland General Assembly. Also, their statutes are known as the Annotated Codes of Maryland. And then the administrative code is known as COMAR, which is the codes of Maryland, which deals with administrative code. Now, just to show you guys how it's like made up just real quick, when it comes to the Maryland or whatever, you see where it says statutes, right? So I picked the article that I wanted to pick. This is like the table of contents, a cascade menu or whatever. And I wanted to go to natural resources. So I clicked on that G and R, right? And I know already from going through it that the definitions for fish and fisheries is at subsection 4-101, right? Boom. Because this is going to sound really wild, but you're thinking like, okay, what? But it's some things I want to point out about this. So I'm hitting the go button there, right? So boom. In this title, the following words
they telling you already from one apprenticeship permit.
So but wait, there's more. It gets so much better. Look, right?
Commercial fishing pier. Fuck out of here.
Exactly. That's why I'm like, so this is all at the pleasure of the governor. But I wanted to point something out real quick, right? So watch this. Boom. O is the first one I want to point out. So are they saying that our brother is letter O? Person, quote unquote, includes the state. So I don't think my brother's the state of Maryland. Any county, I don't think he's not like County Bay. That's not who he is.
Maybe he's Municipal Bay.
He's not Municipal Corporation Bay either.
Hope not.
Right? Or other political subdivision of the state. So okay, so he does. So far, he doesn't qualify to be written some citation by some natural resource park ranger ass motherfucker, or any of their units, or an individual. I don't think he's an individual, because we already know just on a federal level, 5 USC 552A, even though there's 9 times out of 10 the term individual defined in other places. A receiver, I don't think he's doing that either. It's not like, he stands with like aluminum foil and points his fingers to make the television have a better signal. So he's not that, he's not like
he's not an antenna.
box.
He's not
Huh?
an antenna.
He's not an antenna or
Antenna
a cable
bay?
box. No,
Not a
he's not a
satellite.
receiver. Right?
Is your boy a satellite?
He's not. He's not satellite
like
bay.
Kanye West. I'm high as a satellite. They thought he was
Right? Trustee. Everyone is entrusted to make sure that they care for the earth appropriately and not encroach upon someone else's right to do the same. However, he's
Yeah,
not
but all of the things that these terms have in common is that they're acting they're paid. This is a paid capacity.
paid actor.
The county, the state, the municipal corporation, this individual, receiver, trustee, guardian, executor, administrator, fiduciary, representative of any kind. That means that if you're acting on your own behalf, you're automatically not this class of person. Because these are people acting on behalf of others, other legal entities.
So then what it says was fishing without an angler's license. And after it said resident.
Ooh.
So then I wanted to see what resident was. Resident, quote unquote, means an individual who, one, for more than 6 months of the taxable year. Now, I'm just going to say something right now.
It's about taxation.
All Moorish Americans that know that they're non-tax obligated and their general and permanent character has been codified, not because you guys are federal agents. It's been codified under Title 22, United States Code, Chapter 2, subsection 141 through 143. Even though Mother Ross Mariah on the phone the other day pointed it out to me that you got to read all the way up to 165. It's like, okay, cool, no worries. However, he can't be taxed unless he volunteered to do so. So for more than 6 months of the taxable year, maintains a residence in the state.
He living in the barracks. He living in the barrack, the military barracks in a federal area.
That's why they got that's you notice how they social engineer language and shit. Like the language in the hood, I don't feel like it's all natural. I feel like a lot of it is socially engineered. And one of those is, I'm in the trenches. Oh, you in the trenches, huh? You know, they love to say they're in the trenches. All right, so you must be military then, right?
They use a lot of military language, thinking it's cool and it's hood, and that's why I said I don't really deal with black-minded people. When you're black-minded, you say slave shit out your mouth and think it's actually feasible to live by. When you might as well just call yourself McDonald's or Walmart. And in that case, you shouldn't be talking because inanimate buildings, corporations inside of file cabinets don't have feelings, shouldn't be talking. That's why they get treated that way. Oh, but they treated our people. You're a corporation. Shut up. You're property. Shut up. But if you're not property and you can speak on your own behalf competently, then you must either be you got to be some law-abiding, you know what I mean, American citizen. See, an American citizen would be dealing. See, you guys remember the Continental Congress? Yeah, that's what an American citizen, would be dealing with or trying to make sure it is revived. If you want to get into that, because a U.S. citizen is a business.
It's a franchise property of the federal government.
Period. And you can't be that. 2.
Scroll down. Let me see the other definitions, please.
Moves to the state with the intent to be domiciled in the state. Nope.
That's the end.
This is the kicker. This is my favorite one, Malika, right here.
Commercial purpose.
That's my favorite part.
Yep.
So
that's
my brother
my
can't
favorite
be
part.
held to that.
That's always my favorite part.
Yeah. So he can't be held to that. All right, cool. Moving forward, right? So he's not selling fish. He's not doing anything like that. My man just wanted to relax, cast his line. Who knows? He might not even been taking it home to fillet it.
Yeah. This is a violation of I can't remember the name of the case, but it talks about the government not being able to turn a right into a privilege and then a license it and attack. Exactly.
Murdoch versus Penn.
Yeah, Murdoch versus Penn.
There you go. That's what they're doing by trying to hold him under a commercial license.
Exactly.
Because this is saying
He has a
it's
right to fish.
applicable to people who have registered a business. So if you've already registered as a fishery and your license has expired, or you registered as a fishery and you never actually got a specific business license for fishing, you just set up your fishing business and with the intent to do it, but you didn't do it yet, but you promised that you would or whatever, then they could prosecute you for this. But if you're just exercising your right, whether it be of leisure, of feeding yourself, feeding your family, etc., they can't just impose a commercial license upon you and just because they're at work and they're in their clown suit and they look over and see you, they're like, hey, you better act like you're in the circus too.
Fuck that. However, statute, right? Check this out. Add to your wisdom. Statute. Let's go to state government, right? This is supposed to be like how everything is ran. Usually, whatever's a 101, 9 times out of 10, and Malika has reiterated this in many videos archived at Lawful Living, you just gotta pay attention to the fucking definitions. So let's click on that right there to see what 1-101 is. Hey, look, it's not even that long. Is he in the state? He can't be in the state.
This state means a state, possession, or territory of the United States. The District
So in order
of
for him to
Columbia,
be, go ahead. I yield.
the District of Columbia, for 3, the Commonwealth of Puerto Rico.
So in order for our brother who was just fishing to be someone who's in the state, he would have to be a person, which means an individual, receiver, trustee, guardian, personal representative, fiduciary, or representative of any kind of any partnership, firm, association, corporation, or other entity, which was born in the state. That means it had to been registered with, I know near the Maryland State Republic, it's called DLLR, which is the Department of Labor License and Registration. Department of Labor License and Regulation, right? If he doesn't have, there's no evidence, no documentary evidence that says that that's who he is, that's what he agreed to be governed as, then he's clearly not in the state because he has none of his business. He's a people who does not have any part of his person in the state. Therefore, he should be secure in his person, houses, papers, and effects.
No, that means he has no minimum context.
Correct.
He's not organized under the laws of the state.
Which means he's not born in the state of Maryland. Because that's what we brought up in class yesterday. Am I wrong, Malika, on this one?
You right on point.
All
I
right.
mean, that's just what we're going to be getting into on Tuesday, getting into those minimum contacts, because those minimum contacts require you to have a business. And unfortunately, we're tricked into getting our first business license while we're minors. My sister got her driver's permit at 15. She got her regular Florida driver's license at 16. That's contracting with a minor. And what they do is that as you get your first driver's license at 16, 17 years old, and then if you keep it current, even if you move to so-called another state, they just let you trade it in. You don't even you don't ever get to see that you have to take an oath of office as an adult to get your license. That's why they want your children to get licenses at 15, 16, 17, so that it doesn't trigger the fact that you have to take an oath of office. Many people do not remember my younger sister because she intentionally went and got a business license because she wanted to be a dealer. She didn't have, since she realized years ago that she didn't need to have a driver's license, she didn't. But when she wanted to start this dealership, she intentionally went and got the Texas driver's license in November 2021. And I was the first person she called when she left, because she's like, I just had to take an oath. I just want everybody to know you have to take the oath. Somebody actually stands there, makes you lift your right hand, even though there's no holy book there, but you have to take an oath. And the reason why we have cognitive dissonance about this is because most of us did go and take our stuff before we were 18. I waited till I was 19. I had to take the oath.
Wow. All right, just to move forward so we can move into what you and Brother R are going to share pertaining to NV Energy and Am Woman, right?
Yeah.
Boom, right? Brother R is going to be bringing up things about the public utilities, right? So let's go to Public Service Commission. That's what is under near the Maryland State Republic, Public Service Commission. What's interesting is this part, right the fuck here. Now, this is what I wanted to show. It says where the Code of Maryland, right, which is COMAR. COMAR is the administrative code. All right. So, in order for someone to enforce administrative code on you, of course, you must have a contract, an oath of office, and an autographed certified statement that says you're going to be doing trade or business, which is performing functions of public office at the pleasure of the governor. It's telling you where this administrative code derives its authority from. So now I'm going to click back to the left, like Beyonce, to the left, to the left. I'm gonna go back to the public utilities article, right? Let's find subsection 2-12, 2-113, 2-121, right? And as an example, I'm going to say what it is that you do, right? So let's go to the table of contents. Let's find GPU, public utilities. Boom, right? It said go to 2-112. Great. So now we can read the authority for the Public Service Commission based on the statutes drawn up at a General Assembly meeting. And what you would do is you would go and highlight all of this, copy it, paste it to a note somewhere, then go back or go hit next. Let's hit next here. Now we can see 213. It's saying what the commission can do, what it shall do, what it shall supervise and regulate. Sounding real Article 1, Section 8-ish to me, but dealing with public utility stuff. Right? So all I did there, right? All I did was go to the codes of Maryland, which is how they're going to try to administer what is written here in the annotated code of Maryland. Mm-hmm. Again, administrative code is how they're trying to execute what was written in the annotated code. So the administrative code, as it's highlighted, is showing you this is how we are allowed to do what the fuck we about to do. Go and refer to our authority. Subsection 212. Go ahead. I yield.
Then the question pops up because it's so funny that the statutes, right, or the annotated code further gets codified into administrative code, but they're used in unison, right? So what I'm thinking is, hold on, if it's administrative code, then you should be part of the administration, correct?
I think that's an excellent observation and question.
Yep.
Right?
You're trying to, because I remember Malika saying, the board is requesting your presence. Your presence is deemed necessary by the board, right? Mm-hmm. Because you're part of the administration.
Yep.
Otherwise, how can the board of governors of the Federal Reserve deem the presence of someone outside of the Federal Reserve?
Right.
Unless, of course, we know everybody's a Federal Reserve agent out this mug, but
at least we be trying to be.
Or people be trying to. They can't really be that, obviously. But
I'm the creditor. I'm the secured party creditor.
Yeah, I'm the secured party.
I know how to do debt discharging. Like, bro, that doesn't sound healthy. Anyway.
Yeah, a secured party sounds like a club with a lot of armed guards.
Secured party.
You had a secured party. Okay, I get it. Interesting.
That which means they're obviously insecure without it. Okay, I'll let it go. So
it's weird. It's just like the word exempt, and the failure to appear. In order to fail, I had to have a duty. Right? My resident presence has had to been deemed necessary by the board in advance. And that's supposed to be on a record that I can read and you can read and everybody could be like, oh yeah, look, you had an obligation and you didn't fulfill it. But without proof of an existing obligation, it just sounds like extortion when you're telling me to go here, be there, or whatever.
Let me just ad lib to that for all of us that are here and those in the chat. What Malika just basically said is, if you ain't put your feet in to be eeny, meeny, miny, mo to play hide and go seek, shouldn't nobody, and I mean nobody, should be using the administrative code called tag you're it. Nuh-uh, I ain't put my foot in to play. I'm not playing hide and go seek. So in other words, our brother should not have gotten a tag, here's your citation, if he didn't have a contract to say, hey man, I'm going to sign this contract to say that I want you, if you see me casting the line, you write some shit up about me and say I ain't supposed to be doing this shit. There's no contract that says that. There's no oath that he's taking that said, hey man, I swear this oath to never cast the line unless I'm doing it at the pleasure of the governor. That doesn't exist. Nor is there an autograph certified statement that says, yeah, man, I need to make sure I write this autograph statement to show that I competently did a contract and an oath of office. And as the third Masonic knock in the fucking head, I'm going to do this certified statement that says I'm clear that you can fucking adjudicate upon my life's energy as a fucking federal agent or in this case, state agent at the pleasure of the governor. Since those three things don't exist, I'm gonna do the Malika voice here. Why the fuck are they talking to you? Did I do that right? That's probably a little too much bass there, but that's basically what it is. That's the whole basis. When it comes to my thinking, Brother R's thinking, and like I said, when I heard Malika saying it, she's like, why the fuck are they talking to you? I was like, holy fucking shit. That's what I was thinking. And it's been, and I ain't gonna front, I do not miss a fucking friends-in-law class at all. Not one. Because you guys got to know, that's why we call it the jurisprudence gem. We're getting stronger with these concepts, period. Yes, the titty is RV Bay Publications for sincere Moorish Americans. That's the titty. Go and pucker up on that areola, get your nutrients. However, when you're ready to be fucking grown and get pumped up in your concepts, jurisprudently speaking, I don't think there's anything else out there. Everything else is talking about buy this package, spend $250, spend $1,000, spend $3,000, and you too can have a magical bag of bullshit.
That's what it is. It's a magical bag of bullshit. And I'm saying that because I've had people come to me and they're like, I started this trust, I corrected my status, and I got this traffic ticket. And I'm just like, what the fuck? What? Why don't you know how to get rid of a traffic ticket if you've done all these alleged corrections? You know, it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But I wasn't even sure that I was actually sharing my screen. So
no, I just stopped it. Like I said, we all can multiply share it all at one time for real.
Okay, so can you guys see what's on my screen? Can you guys see what's on my screen now?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to go backwards a little bit because that's what I like to do before I come forward. I want you guys to see that this is the definition of excise tax.
Oh, wow. You read my mind because he said something about taxes earlier.
Exactly.
So this is the excise tax, and this is the table of contents. Very similar to when you're looking at the definitions. And this is why I asked our brother to scroll down while we were on the Maryland version, because when you look at the list of things that are there, the subject matter pops out. You can see what the pattern of the subject matter. So here we are. They're talking about excise taxes. This is where everybody's property tax is under. This is what everybody's transfer taxes are under. Whenever you transfer property, stuff like that. But just looking at the table of contents, look what we have here. The Department of Revenue. Business and occupation tax. Not just living and breathing in and out tax. Business and occupation tax. Retail tax. Use tax. Public utility tax. Litter tax. Right? But look at the definition of consumer. And the reason this is important is because Aura was talking about the public utilities on the Department of Natural Resources and stuff like that. Same thing that pops up for public utilities near Washington. So we are on our Aura is like right one step right behind us because we did the same exact thing that he did, and never paid the electricity company. Electricity is still on. Okay, just want everybody to know. So going back and forth with the Utilities Commission, they want to say,
real quick, not to cut your wisdom. I just want to say the utility company becomes like the defender for the freaking utility company. It's crazy.
yeah, the commission becomes defend the utilities companies when their job is to prosecute them.
Exactly.
The job is to prosecute them, but they start defending them. Just like the county prosecutor, they're not supposed to be defending anyone. You're called the fucking county prosecutor. You're not supposed to be defending anyone, but this is what this is the role that their cognitive dissonance makes them take. So going back and forth with the Utilities Commission and the utility company, one of the agents tried to say, you're a consumer, and you're a consumer under this tax section. Okay? Because consumerism is for taxes, is for taxation. So what we want to do on this page is we're going to find every single reference to business. Every single reference to business. Why are we doing this? Because you're going to see that the consumer has to be somebody operating a business. Any person, first of all, which is already telling you a legal entity. So any legal entity who purchases, acquires, owns, holds, uses, or any article, tangible personal property, irrespective of the nature of the person's business. What? Okay. It's all about business. So the term business, how many other times? That's the second time.
What the fuck?
Right? Retail as tangible personal property as a regular course of business. Here, any person engaged in any business activity. Now, remember, this is all the different definitions of person.
Yeah, that's the second one.
Okay. Number three. We didn't even get down to the third one, and we're on the fourth reference of business. Always going to be this regular course of business. Look at number 3. Any person engaged in the business. Any person who owns, leases, real estate, which is a business. Engaged in business. The term engaged in business shows up by itself so many times here. Engaged in business.
You can do Control F and put
look, person engaged in business.
Wow.
Person engaged in business. What's that?
If you do Control F and then type in that, it will tell you how many times. Oh, it's already at the bottom, 15 times.
Yeah, it's already at the bottom because I just searched business, period, because I know. But this engaged in business, seriously, this is what shows up on every single reference to the definition of person. You have to be engaged in the business. And then in Washington, they even have, because it still says again, engaged in the business on the number 8, engaged in how many times they have to say it for you to recognize that it has to be somebody engaged in the business of something. How many times does that show up?
That's not true, because you're supposed to be a good citizen of the state of Washington. Let me stop.
5 times.
All right. So when the public utility company or commission wants to talk about that you're a consumer, but their definition of consumer defines somebody who is engaged in some type of business, you're failing.
Wow.
Then the last one says consumer does not include animal rescue organization or a person with respect to animals, something about animal rescue.
Oh,
that's
Peter.
What the last one says. But everybody else engaged in some type of business is who can be the consumer for both the purposes of taxation and the charges for the use of the electricity service or other natural resource because that itself is considered a tax.
How many people out there though that think they gotta give their gas and electric so-called payments for the statement of account? How many of them know that they are acting under the assumed auspices that they are retail agents? That's what it just sounds like. Do I got this correct? Did I say that properly?
Yeah.
Hold on. So people are out here ruining their families, trying to be grown to pay the bills, not knowing. Because people have divorces and shit and got broken homes.
Yeah, no, for
Because
real.
they think they're being grown when they don't even know that they're acting as retail agents. How grown are you when you don't have full disclosure to your activities? Right?
Yeah. We think we know what's going on. You know, we think we hit 18, start saying, I'm a grown ass, whatever. I'm a grown ass man. I'm a grown ass woman.
Well, like a grown ass idiot.
We're engaged in transactions that we know not the rules that govern it.
Can you, oh man, this is great. So you just showed consumer.
Mhm.
Do you mind screen sharing? Do you want me to screen share? Can you pull up NRS? Oh, okay, I got you. All right. Man,
Yeah,
just
you guys gonna go back and forth because I definitely want to see that M woman join. However, Brother R has got a mystery for us today.
I don't know if she's uploaded it yet.
Oh,
And I don't have
cool.
a lot of time left here, but it'll be on the group. So you guys can screenshot it. I don't know if you have another class tomorrow or whatever.
Got you.
check this out.
I just want to say that Nevada is my favorite session laws of how land becomes in the United States. That was my favorite one I ever found. It was in Nevada. Found it about a year and a half ago. I copy pasted like the whole thing on lawful living. Go ahead.
Wow.
I know y'all see that shit says sales tax right there, right?
Mm-hmm.
What is sales tax? That's what every unconscious being goes in the store, gets their items, and if it's not right, unprepared foods, then they would have to transact that sales tax, correct? Well, it says for the privilege, so this is what it's for. This is under sales tax, imposition, and rate. Okay, so what is it for? It is for the privilege of selling tangible. Yeah, of selling tangible personal property at retail. Now, how many people who go in the store to get a broom or something, right, for cleaning, or to just get any little item that they put tax on it? How many of those people are selling tangible personal property at retail?
I'm gonna go with 0.0005.
A tax is hereby imposed upon all retailers.
Yeah.
Sales tax on all retailers at the rate of 2%. It's way higher than that now. I don't know if this is old or something, but the gross receipts of the gross receipts of any retailer. So the receipt is the retailer's receipt. Why are they giving you that? From the sale of all tangible personal property sold at retail in this state. And then that means all the businesses have to be in the state as well, which the dummies go register. But look at this BS. The next one, method of collection. They straight up told you it was for the retailer, but then they say the tax hereby imposed shall be collected by the retailer from the consumer. That's why it was funny when you brought up consumer. But then look at this. This is the funnier part. Insofar as it can be done. It can't be done.
It can't be done. Fuck out my face.
Yeah, fucking with me, it can't be done. But
so if you're not flipping, not flipping it, then you're not a consumer, because it seems like a consumer is somebody that
somebody doing business
and then bag it up and break it down, bag it up, and then
they make it seem like you when you go to the store, it's a re-up.
Basically, that's what I'm saying.
Yep.
Oh, I'm gonna go get this 12-pack of waters.
Right, and then you're gonna bust it down and sell them one at a time.
Exactly.
That's what they acting like. So now look at this. So I wanted to bring this up. I brought this up earlier, but this is rule number 1. So I finally found it because there is no definition of residential customer in the Nevada statutes or administrative code, except when it is defined, it's defined with commercial. Because remember, we went over that. It's I'll bring it up right now in a second, but it's small commercial customer. It's a residential and small commercial customer defined. But now let me show you, they do define residential customer, but not in their laws. They define it in the tariff. So now check this out. It's actually in the beginning, I think. Customer. Right here under customer. Y'all see right here, it says customer.
Yes.
Okay. Look what they're saying a residential customer is.
A customer who receives residential service is a residential customer.
So how are you classified as a residential customer before the service is given to you? Like, if they're saying when you go to apply for service and they go, okay, are you signing up for residential or commercial? Well, I don't know. What is a residential customer? Well, a residential customer is anyone who receives residential service. Oh, really? So how do I know? So I'm not a residential customer. So how can you sign me up as one? If I don't become one until you give me the service. How did you determine that?
How are they gonna put the definition in the definition? You're not answering the question.
Exactly. So now this is very interesting. I found
That's like saying a man is a man.
Wow. a man is someone that's born a man. Like,
yes,
what?
that's wow. That's amazing. I still have no idea what that is.
Right. So residential customer also would be somebody who's like someone who's receiving the energy in the form of electricity, and then they like busting down the electricity, like, yo, I got them packs of kilowatts out, shorty.
But that's how they do it at apartment complexes.
Right.
I'm gonna just tell you guys right now, these apartment complexes are the consumer who receives residential services. The owners of these buildings, of these apartment buildings and stuff, the definition of residential is a corporately owned unit, okay, that is used for living instead of retail service. But the ownership of the dwelling still has to be corporate.
Correct.
For it to be considered residential service.
So
all
that's
of that
why
stuff is corporate. Residential,
what they're doing,
dwelling, all of that. I yield.
Me and Hasan was just talking about this prior to this live. It's starting at the fundamental level, which is the construction. When they're constructing the buildings, they're putting the terms on them. Residential development.
Yes, for the developer.
Residential complex, residential, all that's what they're doing. However, I say that it should be classified pertaining to how it's being used. Because if I have a screwdriver, that's a tool for taking out nuts and bolts. But if I stab someone with it, it's a murder weapon.
Right.
It's how you use it. I'm not using this as a residential customer or in a residential capacity.
You sure you ain't got them packs of electricity? I'm trying to cop a couple kilowatts from you.
Yeah. Yo, and then now
come through, bro. Come through.
Come through. Check this out. I'm about to show y'all something. Let's do NAC.
It's like the definition of a citizen is one who qualifies as a citizen. Well, bitch, how did I qualify as a citizen? Yeah. What are you talking about?
A citizen is one who becomes a citizen. What?
No, he said a citizen is one who qualifies as a citizen. So I'm trying to become one. How can I qualify in advance?
Exactly.
It's like, yo.
Wow.
Yo, all right, so we're gonna do 150, right?
Check
this out. All right, Malika, I don't know if you ever seen this. Me and Brother Hasan was going over this earlier, but this is under application for incentive. So what I'm realizing, the way I'm making the connection to where they cannot deny it. They cannot deny that a residential customer is a commercial customer. Not just because of the definition of residential and small commercial customer. Check this out. When people participate in programs such as the Lower Income Solar Energy Pilot Program, you see that?
Yep.
Okay, they have to fall under a category.
Yes.
There's only 4 categories.
Right.
Where would residential customer fit?
C, final answer.
Still commercial though.
So
Yeah,
when
it's
I
all
call these
commercial.
people up, and I say, hey, if I want to be part of the program to try to get one of those solar panels on the house, right? I'm in a so-called residential house. I know that there's only 4 categories. They say, yes, you can participate as long as you qualify. Now, one of those beings may be able to get in as a low income, but the ones who don't, and their house is quote unquote considered residential, the residential customer, right? Where would they be classified under these 4? We already know residential and small commercial. And they say this 4 times, by the way. They have these 4 categories 4 times within 701B. They have it as 701B 505, 701B 150, and 701B 685. They bring up these 4 classifications, and these are what's considered a host customer. So if you get that solar panel, that's what a lot of these people don't know. They're trying to get that free solar panels, but they're being classified as host customers now. And a host customer falls under one of these categories. So even if they're saying you're a residential customer, boom, you are a small commercial customer.
Sounds very parasitic, bro.
Then
You're
we
a
go
host.
to
It only seems parasitic because what people don't comprehend is like people want to get the money, right? They want to get money, but they don't want to spend any money. But the way that the system is set up is that they're only charging you, and it seems parasitic, but they're only charging you because you are supposed to be reselling, just like what he has highlighted here. The only reason they're charging you is because you're also supposed to be charging it forward. It only feels and seems parasitic when it's like, no, I just live here. I'm not a prostitute. I don't rent out my bed.
right.
Okay. I
Right.
go to the gym, but I don't actually run a gym. So I'm not renting out my weights and my shower, you know.
Correct.
So the buck stops with me. That's why it feels parasitic, because I'm not earning anything off of the services that I'm being charged for. But that's the clue that you're not supposed to be charged for it. Because the justification of the charge is that you yourself are charging others.
And since you're not, which is, hold on, most people that are probably even listening in the chat, I know a lot of people are having an aha moment, like, hold on, what the fuck? I've been sitting here stressing, trying to make sure it's heat during the winter, and you ain't. Are you?
I've been trying to discharge this light bill when I need to just be telling them I'm not a bistro, dummy.
Well, so they're falling for a trap. When they get all these new solar panels, they are going to be considered to be reselling it, giving the energy back to MV Energy. That's how they're doing it.
That what they do. They tie it to the grid, and they tell you you're selling it back to the grid. That's why they justify charging you.
And they say that
I'll be back and I take the doggy out. I'll be right back.
Islam, bro. Check this out, Malika, because now what I'm about to do for the people, because I know you already know all this stuff, but it's interesting to look at different, obviously different locations.
Yeah, I love looking at it in different states because it's even set up the same way.
Right. Yeah, it's uniform. It's uniform.
Yep, uniform. Yep.
So look at this. All right, this is why I'm gonna tie it together, and I'm gonna fuck the people up when I scroll up right now, or when I scroll down, or up, however you see it. But okay, so look at this definition of residential and small commercial customer. Mm-hmm. Mind you, residential customer is not defined at all, but they do define residential and small commercial customer, and then the Nevada Energy Tariffs defines a customer, which they don't really define it. But check this out. They're saying residential and small commercial customer means any customer
other than
a generating industrial or large commercial customer. So what this is telling me, one, is that small commercial customer and residential customer are the same things. When you participate in programs, you get classified in a category as commercial customer. But look at where this once you get classified in this category, how can you get classified? Do you not need a license? Let me prove it.
Well, it goes back to the application, like the section you went to and it's talking about the application. But a lot of people don't apply. They don't physically fill out an application.
Look at this. Look at where was we just at?
Residential and small commercial.
Yeah.
You were at 79525.
Pardon me. 79525.
Yeah, that's where we were.
All right, so which is coming up. Oh no, that's
where we were.
Oh, right here. Pardon me. Okay, so what I was saying is, look where residential and small commercial customers under.
Alternative sellers. Yep. You're
guess
a
what?
seller.
And guess what? So if they say you're a residential customer, right? Then
Mhm.
you want to participate in a program, they're going to put you in the category of residential small commercial customer. But that would make you an alternative seller. And what does an alternative seller need?
I think they might need a license.
Alternative seller means a seller of any competitive, discretionary, or potentially competitive component of natural gas. They need a license. They definitely need a license right here.
Wow.
Licensing of alternative
Yep.
sellers right here.
Boom. I knew it.
Not later than January 1, 1999, the commission shall, by regulation, set forth the procedures and conditions that alternative sellers must satisfy. So how the fuck am I being put in a category with alternative sellers as a residential customer? Then a residential customer must be a business customer.
Yep.
Pardon me, I get turned up. But
Same.
Wow.
so I think I could pull up now the docket actually, so we can laugh. Everybody enjoys a good laugh.
They don't understand that. Well, one of the things that I like to pull up is the part of the code that says they can provide the service for free.
Yeah, I ain't found that part yet. I tried.
Just saying. Hold on.
I'm actually gonna.
Hold on.
I know you
Malik,
showed
have to
yours.
bring that up. However, I do want to say this. This presentation alone, within the last 5 to 10 minutes, is killing all of the secured party creditor discharge debtors out there.
Because
people
if
are
you
pissed that they spent those thousands of notes on packages that still isn't helping them.
if you realize that the only reason for the charge is that you are a reseller, that has to be what you attack. You have to attack the fact that you're the end user and you are exercising a right. You are not operating a privilege that they can turn into. You're not exercising a privilege that they can attach a fee and a license.
Correct.
So here comes Donald Dummy Esquire. Donald Duck. And he goes, you know, what's most important is part right here. So first he says, NAC 703.8011 requires that a petition for reconsideration must identify each portion of the challenge order which the petitioner deems to be unlawful, unreasonable, or based on erroneous conclusions of law or mistaken facts. NAC 703.8011B requires a petition for reconsideration to cite those portions of the record. This is where he hung himself. Why? Because I first myself been pointing at the record. Remember this right here, guys. Remember.
Yes, cite those portions of the record, the law or the rules.
Cite those portions of the records, the laws or the rules commission which support the allegations of the petition. Remember that.
Right.
He said that. Then he said Mr. Bey's petition must be dismissed as the commission has yet to issue an order in this matter. The commission did vote on Mr. Bey's complaint, blah, 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 blah. And it says, however, as of the date of the filing of the petition, no commission order has been issued. Therefore, it is impossible for Mr. Bey to identify each portion of the order which he deems
but it
unlawful.
Doesn't say the order. It doesn't say the order.
It doesn't only say the order, right?
Yeah, it says the record.
Or the rules.
Right, or the rules.
Or the record.
Right.
So check this out. Oh, pardon. Yeah, leave this site. Now go to what I had filed because you know what they're doing. Matter of fact, look, the day he said the order, there was no order. The next day they put the order. But look at this. So now I know for a fact, I smack. Look, the record does not reflect. Didn't he talk about the record? That Kelly and Colin have introduced sufficient evidence to support any findings that they have lawful corporate power of attorney. But what I say on number 5, the record does not reflect the sufficient evidence required to support a finding.
Any finding that I'm a residential or small business customer, which bear the same meaning. Ha 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 ha.
Per NAC, I gave them 2 sources, NAC and NRS. I gave them administrative and a legislative.
You know what they did, right? He just like the attorneys, and this is what they all do because they're lazy.
You just did what I did.
They did worse. They opened up their pre-written response when someone files a reconsideration, and they just changed the name to Mr. Bey and filed it. That's it. Because there you can tell that
That's what the
they're
order
not
is.
reading what you actually said, because they're not
Look.
addressing what was actually said in that particular thing. They just changed the name on the top, changed the references in the body of the document, and that's it.
I'm
Because
gonna prove what you just said is true, and it's even was done by the commissioners. This is an order that was put in the next day. Look at this. First thing they said in the introduction, it says R. Bey, customer of Nevada Power Company. This is the order, yo. Look, they let the assistant commission secretary put their signature on it on behalf of the commissioners, but they're still all liable. But look at this. So the first thing they say is they lie right here. Then look at how they lie right here. They go, Mr. Bey's position. Yo. They're saying Mr. Bey's position, but they're quoting the briefing memo from Kelly. Mr. Bey asserts staffing briefing memo, Exhibit A. What? No.
He's neither retail or residential customer,
I'm not a fucking
and
Englishman.
therefore
Stop
not
calling
subject
me
to the
mister.
applicable tariffs.
Well, that's
Yeah,
true.
it's the fact that you're not
But
using the service
she starts
as a
lying.
retailer. So
She
I
starts
mean,
lying. Look, Mr. Bey asserts that MPC, Nevada Power Company, may not terminate service to his premise. I never said it was a premise. That's a lie. He is disputing his bill. It is not my bill. See, you keep lying.
right.
And cites to various federal regulations pertaining to the production of currency. I did not cite any statute, law, code, policy, regulation speaking on the production of currency. This is literally saying what the attorney said, the first one who's been in
Yeah,
hiding.
they did the same thing to us. They did the same thing to us. Same exact words almost.
Mhm.
We're saying one thing, and they flip it to try to say a next.
Look, they did it
Wow.
again right here. Mr. Bey further asserts that MPC may not communicate with him about collection of his debt.
Yeah,
What?
his debt.
I never said that. You see what I'm saying? Then he goes, I said that it was deceptive business practice because they're misapplying commercial commerce rates. They are. And then they lied and said to him as a private citizen. I never said that.
Doesn't
So
even sound like the way you speak, just naturally.
so what they lied, right? They lied and said it was my I never said premise. I never said it was my bill. I never said
They're
it was my debt.
misconstruing. They're misconstruing, and not necessarily lying, but I know what you
Essentially-
mean. They're misconstruing.
Wow.
Well, shit, they need a good excuse for that because it looks like they're tampering with the record. But what
That's what we all say. Like, yo,
they should
hold
be
on,
quoting.
it's
They
not
should be
correct.
quoting what. Pardon me. Go ahead.
They should
No,
be
that's
copy
what we was
pasting
all
what you
saying.
actually said. They should have copy pasted what you
Exactly.
actually said, as opposed to rewording it how they want to
How they
twist it.
wanted to, because it helps their position. Because they know that these words have definitions. If it's my debt, then I gotta pay it. If it's my bill, then I gotta pay it. If it's my premise, then it's subject to. You see what I'm saying? Those
Right.
words have legal definitions.
Hold on. When they're talking about the premise, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, Malika, because you pointed it out in Mortgage Free, I think, in that 6 hour, 53 minute, 30-second video that I always be talking about. Like, yo, that's the video. Premise is microwave, oven, refrigerator.
Oh, the
Dishwasher.
fixtures. The fixtures.
Right, that's the premise. That's the premises, right?
Yeah, but even so, even though my fixtures are not subject to the regulations.
Right. Here you go. Look.
Premise means a dwelling unit. So first it has to be a dwelling unit. A dwelling unit means a structure, a part of a structure occupied as or designed or intended for. See, that's what I'm saying. That's how they try to get you by saying, "Oh,
Occupancy.
it was intended. It was intended for occupancy as a residence because it's a resident of development, residential development." Nah, screw that. Call the engineer and tell him, you know damn well everybody that's looking for a unit in that quote unquote residential development is not a federal agent.
A federal agent, a federal, state, or municipal agent.
That's why the ones who actually lease or rent the units out, they try to force you into the adhesion contract of you admitting you're a resident, of you admitting you're a tenant, of you admitting you're any any term that's defined under the statutes, which gives them jurisdiction to do what they do.
Yeah, they don't want to show that they're discriminating against private people, because that's what they would be doing. So
That's
they
why-
put terms in there that they know private people will never go look up and will never say, oh yeah, this is, no one talks about their apartment like that. Why don't they use the word apartment? Why are they saying
trust me.
dwelling or premise? And when you look up the terms dwelling and premise, it all comes up under Title 10, which is military.
Mm-hmm.
Yikes.
And they don't want to say we can only give these apartments to military people who are temporarily residing in the state. They don't want to say that because it's going to be like, okay, well, where are the stuff for the regular people? Where's the stuff just for, just for us that's not a part of the government administration? They don't want to tell you, yeah, well, we don't cater to people unless you're part of the government administration, because that would be discrimination.
Impromptu improv, emotional outburst here. Can we look that up in Title 10 real quick for dwelling? Because we know etymologically dwelling.
Well, the funny thing is, I found it. I want everybody to find it how I found it, which was going to your favorite search engine, typing in dwelling United States Code, and seeing where it comes up. Put dwelling unit and just United States Code.
Boy, about Title 42.
Yeah, Title 42. That's HUD.
It sure is.
Scroll down.
Right. That's HUD.
Oh, it comes up under, let me tell you where it comes up again. It comes up under Title 15 USC 1664.
Wow.
Damn, that was pretty close. 1666. 1660.
Yeah, 1664. Or it's either 4 or 7.
If it's 4.
There you go. 1665B.
No, 1664. Click on it.
Oh, okay.
Scroll down. See right there? Advertisements for residential real estate. And credit transactions. Yep. Principal dwelling. There you go. Boom.
Credit
I
transactions.
haven't looked at it in a long time.
Principal dwelling of consumer. Each advertisement to which this section applies that relates to a consumer credit transaction that is secured by the principal dwelling of a consumer, in which the extension of credit may exceed the fair market value of the dwelling, in which advertisement is disseminated in paper form to the public or through the internet, as opposed to by radio or television, shall clearly and conspicuously state that 1, the interest of the portion of the credit extension is greater than the fair market value of the dwelling, is not tax deductible for federal income tax purposes, and 2, the consumer should consult a tax advisor for further information regarding the deductibility of interest and charges.
Sounds like some Title 26 shit in there too, then.
Of course.
Right.
Of course.
That's that consumer shit. I wanted to show you the last. I think it was every single sentence they lied, except for the first one, that I assert that I'm neither a residential or retail customer. That's the only sentence that wasn't a lie. But look, here's another lie that I didn't show. Right here. Lastly asserts that MPC's notice of termination of service is a form of deprivation of guaranteed rights. I didn't say that the notice of termination. I said that the termination itself. But the notice of termination is infliction of emotional distress.
Okay. Absolutely. Wow. And it's a deprivation of right under cruel and unusual punishment under Article the 8th. Cruel and unusual punishment. That's one of the ones that a lot of people don't talk about, but that's one of the ones we put in our suit against the utility company, because I can't say it enough. The charge itself is the attachment of a license and fee to a right. You have a right to life, and that includes a home to live in and all the accompaniments, the gas, the electricity, the water. Okay.
Yeah.
That is your actual right. That is your dominion on earth. The only justification for the charge is that you yourself are operating a privilege of a business, because operating a business is a privilege. So what they have done is taking all of our rights and attached a license and a fee and treating us all like we're exercising a privilege, a business use privilege.
They
That's what they
birthrights.
did, because the commercial corporations, they cannot deal literally directly with private people. They can't. So what they do is convert every private person that comes in and say, yeah, I want this service. They go, okay, we got another new small business, a customer. They have to do it that way, because then they cannot justify charging you, and they need to justify charging you.
Yeah, you know what's crazy? The first time I looked up the titles and chapters of the Nevada Administrative Code, I went to the section where the Nevada Revised Statutes Title 58 has everything dealing with the utilities for the most part, and it's like 701 through like 713 or something like that. So when I first originally looked up the Nevada Administrative Codes, titles and chapters, there was no 701, 702, it wasn't there. It just wasn't there.
What?
The only thing I seen was 704. So this whole time I've been battling these people with what I know. I hadn't had access to any of the other ones. Just today I looked it up because the attorney quoted NAC 703. I'm like, NAC 703? When I went and looked up, there was only 704. When I go and look today, or I think it was today, in the AM, I see the whole list of all of them: 701, 701B, 702, 703. I'm like, how the hell was this not available before? Now it is. And then when I go into 701B, it has every single statute dealing with all the procedures with the Public Utilities Commission, from the oral complaint, the complaint, service list.
They're supposed to have that. I'm surprised that they just put it up. Does it say that it was updated like December of last year or something?
It makes it seem like it was always there. It was just like some weird shit, which is another weird thing, is that I couldn't file online with the Public Utilities Commission. The laptop wouldn't let me, the phone wouldn't let me. And the lady on the phone is like, well, I'm able to do it just fine. I'm like, so I had to go in person to go file. But it's just crazy how, I'm not able to file. And another thing is that they put me on a service list. Instead of putting me as RMO Abba Bay, all rights reserved, they put RMO Abba Bay, RMO Abba Bay, which is prima facie evidence that they wish to stop me from exercising my rights or having rights. Because why would you change that? You know what I'm saying?
I'm listening. I'm also surfing Title 10, subsection 101 real quick. I just wanted to see what I
Oh, yeah, go ahead, show it, because I was gonna show everybody here. I just realized
go ahead, you can share either one.
What I did was, where it says what I did was put in the full United States Code, and you put in things like rent, dwelling unit, and lease. I was a little confused. I was like, how come it's not coming up on a dwelling unit? Then I remembered it comes up under lease. You see Title 10 right there? When you just do lease, United States Code, the first thing you see is this. Title 40 is public property.
No, scroll down. You had skipped Title 10, bro. I just saw it.
I'm not scrolling. That's is that you, Malik?
Oh, that's me. 10 is right there. Yeah, I was just saying that I had to put lease, not necessarily dwelling unit, to find because those are the three things we searched. You can just type in United States Code, the full word, and then lease, dwelling unit, and rent. That's what you want to search. Lease, dwelling unit, and rent. And you'll see where they come up under. See Title 10 again, rental guarantees.
Wow.
The reason I'm saying that is because when you click on Title 10, you'll see this is, well, not this version of Title 10.
Right,
it's
military though. It definitely is.
Well,
I'm in the definitions right now in subsection 101. So
okay, well, Title 10 right here, you can see it says armed forces. Armed forces. So you're looking up rent, but what you're seeing is armed forces.
Correct.
About military service and procurement chapter, military construction. Okay, we all know Title 25 is Indian reservations, Indians and Indian reservations.
Which are federal agents, those federal agents.
Okay, and that's what happens when you look up rent. So when you look up rent, lease, and dwelling unit, and just put United States Code, look at the chapters that come up. Rental payments. They talking about, look, dwelling units, blah, blah, assisted under this chapter. Oh, you gotta be you gotta be under public assistance.
Low income.
So 25. Go ahead. What'd you say, bro?
When she said public assistance, low income housing.
Yes, absolutely low income. Right there, it says right there, who are low income families.
So Title 25 is for the collective bargaining agreement.
Shut up.
That call
For
themselves
real?
Indians.
It's the
That's what I'm
collective
saying.
bargaining agreement. It actually calls it that.
No, I'm just saying that's how I see it. I'm doing the full scope within my mind, because those people that call themselves Indians under Title 25 are capitulating.
I don't
Moriscos.
understand why people want to see themselves in a code. I don't get the fascination with that. Why do people want to be like, oh yeah, this code, this is where I am. They wrote a code for me.
Right. Even for Moorish Americans that know that their AA 222141 is codified as Truth A1, it is codified in Title 22. However, it's not to be used like, oh, I'm here.
What's codified is the instructions for the agents to deal with people foreign to their jurisdiction.
That's what I was gonna say.
If Title 22 says this is how you have to deal with people foreign to your jurisdiction, it's not that I am under Title 22.
Correct.
It's their procedure to deal with people foreign to their jurisdictions in Title 22.
Correct.
I just happen to be one of those people foreign to their jurisdiction. So I'm going to look at Title 22 to see how closely you're following it.
I'm just saying, though, those people on reservations calling themselves Indians wearing a bunch of feathers on their head, that's collective bargaining agreement Moriscos under Title 25. Public health and welfare is Title 42, and armed forces, as we were saying, the military is Title 10. And that's where you're finding lease, rent, dwelling. That should say something. That should say
advance payment of rent.
Yeah, that should definitely say something.
Because
I think a lot of people in the chat have never heard
public housing.
What did you say there?
Title 42 is public housing.
Of course. And a lot of people in the chat, just to add to you guys' wisdom, I'm just kind of eyeballing the chat here and there. And I'm telling you, I don't think a lot of people have even seen or heard these concepts this way, when it's absolutely the okay, so let's say when people go to your secured party creditor bays and your debt discharging L's, or as Malika said yesterday in class, your birth certificate bays. Right? And I know you guys probably thinking, oh, you're talking shit about other Moorish Americans. No, I'm talking about people that are selling you guys back into fucking slavery because they won't take you to the foundation to whatever it is that they claim they're being a guru to, or they're not gurus. They just basically just sharing what's on their heart. The people don't have to do it. But if the people decide they want to do it, that's on them. Stop it. You're you're misleading them.
Okay, so this is for people who are current on their rent that want to challenge their rent. This is a document that we made back in February of last year.
Right
before, almost a year old.
Yeah.
It's for people to copy, paste within their stuff. Okay, so this requires that you're looking at your lease, at the lease in front of you, because that's what it says here. I have read over this, whatever it says on the top of your lease. Most people's loan is going to say residential, rental, and lease agreement, or something to that effect.
Emotional outburst real quick. See, and I had my baby. I'm like, baby, let me see this lease real quick. And when I looked at it and it said what the premises are.
Oh, yeah.
It was the appliances, of course.
Yes.
It was not the actual structure.
They never talk about the structure, because in your lease, they never say it's a 5-room unit.
Correct.
2 of which are bedrooms. 1 is a kitchen. They never describe it, and they're supposed to.
However, they tried to say the connected garage, and I was like, that sounds like bullshit. That's an appliance, like the microwave and stuff, but whatever. I yield. Go ahead, Malika. I yield.
Aura seems like you wanted to add something. Go ahead, Aura.
Oh, go ahead, bro. My apologies.
Okay, I was going to say, that premise under Nevada revised statute, it includes the utilities. So that's when I realized, oh, snaps. So the property is mine. That means the utilities is my property. Just like you would say, my rights is my property.
That's right.
Okay, so the utilities is my property. Now, can you be deprived of property without a due process of law?
No.
So
You
so
can
can they
be, but that's
remove
a
the
cause of action.
so
You
can they
can
remove
be.
can they remove the electricity, which is my property, the utility? Can they remove that from the inside of my property without a warrant to seize it first?
Well,
Not
like she said,
lawfully.
they can, but not law. That's what I was about to say.
Not
Yeah,
lawfully.
not lawfully. And
Exactly
that's
what I was
why
about to say.
if they want to shut it off, they should have to get a warrant to seize
Yeah,
that
they should have to
property.
go through a full court process with a petition, because you can't have a warrant without a verified petition.
Exactly.
You know,
Correct.
so they should be going through, and that's the letter that I was showing you guys that I wrote for my sister, where they gave her the truck, they gave her the keys, she's riding around with it for 2 weeks, and then they go, oh, the financing didn't go through, so you're gonna have to bring it back. But where does it say that? Where did I sign an agreement that says I can leave with the stuff as my own, and after you decide you're not going to fulfill your end of the bargain, I have to bring it back? Where did I sign the agreement for that? Guess what? I didn't. So if you want this truck so-called back, you're going to have to go through full due process, which includes a verified petition, etc., a summons or a warrant, a full court case. Then if I don't show or do whatever, you could probably put a lien, perhaps, but you just can't call up your friendly tow truck driver and go, yeah, see, go pick up my stuff. See, you can't do that.
Oh, yo, you know, that's funny because when I was looking at some other stuff, and tows was the name of the section, and it was under like the same title for the utilities, and everywhere you seen everything dealing with tows, it was always residential complex, residential complex, residential complex. So there was
Corporate
like
owned residential complex.
mhm.
Crazy.
Wow.
So here we go. I have read over my lease that the manager provided prior to giving me the keys to where I live. And what I've discovered is that it appears that I've been asked to sign a maintenance agreement.
Hold on, you the
rather
maintenance
than
man?
one for a space for me to live, cook, eat, sleep, shower, etc., as I believed I was being offered.
Hold on, so you the maintenance woman?
That's what they're trying to do, make us the maintenance woman, make you the maintenance woman or maintenance man. Okay, the maintenance bay. That's what they over here trying to make us.
The maintenance
Okay.
man.
Yes. Okay. In the lease, there's identified a landlord and the resident. However, and it depends on your lease. Okay, a tenant and a lease are all occasionally referred to while not being defined or identified.
Zoom in,
Okay,
Malika.
so
Can you zoom in? Can you control plus sign that?
Oh yeah, I can do it. All right.
Excellent.
So when you read over your lease, you're gonna see it's gonna seem like it's a maintenance agreement, not a place for you to live. It talks about you picking up trash around the premise. I'm like, I ain't picking up no. Who comes out their apartment to pick up the trash?
Wow.
But most people never read their lease. So check it out. In this lease, like I said, they identified the landlord and the resident. However, they refer to the tenant and leasee, but they're not identified nor defined.
Correct.
This lease is alleged to be enforced under whatever your landlord-tenant act is. And I found out a lot about this landlord-tenant act since the day I wrote this. For example, this landlord-tenant act only applies to public property, publicly assisted property. If you're living in a non-public assistance housing or you are not being publicly assisted, the landlord-tenant act is inapplicable to your living situation, but they're going to try to evict you underneath it. And you have to know that it's only applicable to public property. So
It's
anyway,
only in the actual landlord-tenant act, the what's it called? The uniform, yeah, the ERLTA. In the ERLTA, it says for dwelling units in the state. And in the Nevada thing, it says dwelling unit. It only applies to dwelling units in the state. They got.
Well, hold on. I just had a fucking revelation now that y'all said that. Hold on. Emotional outburst on this one. ERLTA says what again, bro? Repeat that again, because I think I just.
It says the applicability of the uniform. You want to pull it up?
I can pull up the lawsuit against them.
Because I know it's
I'll pull it up like that.
Because look, if they're mentioning anything in the state, And we know that IRLTA was written by the Uniform Law Commission, which is a bunch of lawyers that volunteer to have a fucking, camp.
Right
and
there,
let's
boom,
just write shit.
right there,
Right?
Uniform Law Commission, right here.
Right? Okay, so look. So that means if they're saying in the state, and we know
Yep, it's
that
drafted by the
writing,
self-appointed commissioners and legal experts.
right? So they're writing something saying it's in the state, which means they're actually trying to throw the governor under the fucking bus. And
They are, because see what I said, this is
legislated. It's not has not gone through the General Assembly.
No, it has not. Absolutely correct, which means it's not law. See right here, they talk about the fact that the jurisdiction applies. This is what Ara was talking about. This act applies to, regulates, determines rights, obligations, remedies under a rental agreement wherever made for a dwelling unit located within the state.
But how can they do that when they are not a state agency? They are a private for-profit bar members group.
They brag that they have 500 attorneys on the commission.
So does that mean we need 500 scimitars, or do we just use the same one 500 times? Or do we tie 500 different nooses? Because I hear treason.
I mean, they're basically saying that since you signed this contract, the contract makes the law, but the contract is unconscionable, which is why we termed it unconscionable contract. That's why it's literally called notice of unconscionable contract.
Because they're using this Landlord-Tenant Act or whatever to supersede or to circumvent common law. So
the Constitution generally, yes.
Correct.
They're trying to say you signed this unconscionable contract. So
that's repugnant. That's a violation of Article 6.
Treason.
Exactly.
Treason. That's war against the Constitution.
That's why I'm like, am I the only one that hears treason?
So, it's absolutely, because it means that they have this private code writing commission acting in the place of the legislature. Okay, the definition of in the state for all of the states here, this is just the one for Indiana, but the definition of all of the states are the same. It has to be land owned by, ceded to, or in association with the United States. That's what they tell. I mean, they tell you this. This right here is copy paste directly out of the creation of the IRLTA, which says it's intended to apply to government or public agencies acting as landlord. Not your uncle, not your auntie, not you, not grandma, not the LLC that claims to own your apartment complex that you live in, or claims to own the house that you're renting or whatever. It's not for them. So when they try to evict people under that code, bro is saying treason, but it's all types of violations.
War against the Constitution.
Anything repugnant to the Constitution, notwithstanding. And notwithstanding is another way of saying unconstitutional.
It has no standing.
Correct.
Okay. So this Landlord-Tenant Act does not define the resident. That's what everybody has to realize. They do not define the resident. The only person defined is person. And it's defined as any legal or commercial entity. And service member, which means an active duty member of the United States Armed Forces, of a military reserve component, or a member of the National Guard who is either stationed as a resident of whatever the state is. That's what it says in between these two definitions. This one is for transportation. This one is the Department of Natural Resources, guys, that wildlife license that Hasan was talking about earlier. Those are the only two places that this person is defined, and this is literally what it's defined as. You have to be a commercial entity or a service member, okay? These are where the definition of resident, and they only speak about active members of the armed forces, is then. So we ask a question: is service member the person referred to as the resident or tenant in this lease? According to these definitions, I'm not the person or service member and cannot be a resident nor a tenant. However, as a private man that cannot be discriminated against for access to housing according to the laws that regulate the alleged landlord, I reserve the private right and only sign this lease in order to extend credit from my signature. And then
Phuket, Thailand.
Then we go to the terms that where they define rent and premise. This is a mistake here. This what happened?
Hold on, where at?
This definition does not specify nor use occupancy of an apartment for living, cooking, dining by whomever is liable to pay, nor to whom rent is owed. Look very carefully at the definitions. They do not describe this renting of premises. They don't say that it's for living, cooking, dining, sleeping. Okay, they don't say who the rent is owed to or who is liable to pay it.
So use and occupancy can only be performed by a armed service member.
That's what I'm thinking. When I'm reading these definitions, I start imagining us like someone with a gun patrolling the outside of the building or the outside of the house. Okay.
And the tool belt, never forget, because it's
you gotta have the gun strap and the tool belt. Okay, they literally are describing my husband.
Yo, so I'm looking at Realtor right now, and remember how we found out that household member is someone related to a military?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, they have the definition of immediate family member, and it's the same definition, but it doesn't say the military part. It says immediate family member means any of the following who habitually resides in the dwelling unit with a tenant. An individual related to the tenant by blood. Remember, it said that you have to be related to the federal worker by blood.
Yep.
So it's using the same language.
Yep.
However, it's not mentioning the federal worker part.
Yeah, but they're under the section with the same federal worker part, right?
Well, I'm reading the definition of immediate.
Oh, you're reading an ERLTA. You're reading an ERLTA. Yeah. I got you.
But in the Landlord Tenant Act, in the state laws, it has the same thing, but it adds the federal worker part.
Yeah, see? So they're making it clear for you. Mm-hmm. The definitions say further that the tenant is any person who is entitled to occupy a dwelling unit primarily for living or dwelling purposes under a rental agreement. A rental agreement means all agreements which establish or modify terms, conditions, rules, regulations, or other provisions concerning the use and occupancy of a dwelling unit. The resident under this lease, however, has agreed to pay rent, has responsibility to maintain, clean, and report damages of the premises. Hello? The resident under the lease that people are reading says you have a responsibility to maintain, clean, and report damages of the that's the maintenance man.
So again, if you're not a contracted maintaining armed forces agent, active or inactive, right? If you're not under oath to be that being that I just said, if you don't have an autographed certified statement to be that being, then your problem should not be rent, electricity, gas, water, because at that point, if you're not these military beings, which would be a resident,
that's false personation. You're impersonating. You're violating 18 USC 912.
So that means that the only thing that's left is heir. That these people are trustees over your dominion. So you Moorish Americans know what it is when it comes to your dominion. However, Malika speaks on that also when it comes to dominion, because that's what we're dealing with here. We're all heirs. One mother's breast have given us suck. We're all heirs. Didn't Prophet Noble Jolly say, take your place amongst the affairs of minds, because man is mine, men is minds. So we're taking our place here. We're demonstrating this. Brother R showed, Mother Malika showed, I even showed earlier. We're showing you with different examples. Do you, and this is the question that's actually being asked, so I'll just ask it outright. Do you qualify to pay rent? Do you qualify to pay gas, electric, water? do you qualify to have a driver's license?
Look,
It says here, you're maintaining, cleaning, reporting damages of the premises. You're responsible for bills and eviction, which seems like it's the manager's job. So as a non-resident, non-person, non-tenant, private man without intention to impersonate the active duty resident who could agree, how could I be responsible to pay any reoccurring charges in the state? It seems
When you're
that
not you don't qualify.
It seems that the United States is a silent yet indispensable party to this agreement.
Period.
right.
Okay. I now peacefully exercising my religious right to tranquil enjoyment of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness pursuant to the legislative intent of the Landlord Tenant Act, which is stated
Even though it wasn't
as,
legislated, but go ahead.
well,
You're
it's the
talking about that
legislative
RCW.
intent of the act, okay?
Yeah.
To provide a payment on the tenant's behalf to the landlord. That's what it says verbatim. That's why I put it in a quote.
Correct.
In certain eviction proceedings, to give the tenant additional time to access resources that allow the tenants to stay in their home. That's the quote, literally as it's written in Washington. They're telling you that it is the legislative intent for the state to provide payment on the tenant's behalf. Why? Because their tenant is a military officer. They have to take care of them. So even if you want to say, oh, well, we're just paying them and then they pay the rent, where the money came from? It still came from the government. Still came from the Federal Reserve. Okay. Therefore, since the contract makes the law, any attempt to enforce the landlord resident tenant rules under this unconscionable agreement will be taken as whoever the fool's name is, willingly and knowingly participating in crimes against myself and the government of the United States as defined further in the memorandum of law and points of authority attached. False and misleading representations, furnishing deceptive forms, unfair business practices, frauds and swindles. It's actually frauds and swindles. Frauds and swindles, false personation of a creditor of the United States, which is 18 USC 914, and conspiracy to defraud the United States. And that's the end of the letter. And then of course we have the
hold on, show them that it's only a page and a half. It's literally a page and a half.
This is the first page and that's the second page. So that's it.
Hey, I have that reference, guys. It is in the ERLTA. It is section 103 scope under B. The first part of B doesn't have any other parts. It's just B. So it's scope 103, and it literally says, except as otherwise provided in section C, this act applies to a lease of a dwelling unit in this state. That's ERLTA.
There you go. Wow. That's why I pulled that up, in the state. And the definition of this in the state is the District of Columbia, the Commonwealth and possessions of the United States.
Right.
That's just not everywhere, right? Because also in the ERLTA are these definitions where they define tenant as a person, then define person as an organization, and then they say an organization is a legal or commercial entity.
So are you guys in the chat? Put a 1 in the chat if you're recognizing that, whether we look it up near the Nevada State Republic, the Washington State Republic, or near the Maryland State Republic. Can you guys see the commonality in the definitions, no matter which state statute it is? Because they can't make anything else up, because they can only regulate their own little entities, their corporations termed governments, and the land and naval forces, technically, which is in harmony with Article 1, Section 8.
Oh, what the hell? All right. So I just want to show you guys really quick the memorandum of law, because this is going to include some of the things that we were trying to find specifically when we get into the federal codes where we were talking about. Okay, here we go. Title 10, Armed Forces. This is where housing unit, not dwelling unit. So Title 10, 2871 is where housing unit is defined. That's where landlord is defined. That's where tenant is defined. Title 10, guys.
Right.
Just armed forces again. Okay.
When you see it over and over. Military unaccompanied housing. That's where this stuff with housing unit and landlord. when you look it
I'm
up.
having emotional outbursts. Hold on, I'm having a response here. I feel like, hold up. Because isn't there a part of the Constitution that says no quartering of soldiers?
Right, but that's why they put it in the state. So
That's repugnant to the Constitution.
So they could be on a federal area and not in your house.
That's some bullshit.
Well, technically, if they have you signing a lease, they're saying that you're, like Ara pointed out, you're living as a family member, like a household member of this imaginary military leasee tenant.
Okay, so hold on. So if that's the case, then right?
And I just want to say before you ask your question, brother, I just want to tell you guys the reason why these particular codes are here is not because I just wanted to pick them. I did just what I showed you guys. Housing unit, I put in landlord, United States code, and see what comes up. Landlord, United States code, this is what comes up. Tenant, United States code, this is what comes up. Lease, United States code, boom, you under the bankruptcy. Again, wow. Title 43, as I mentioned before about the interior and the Department of Labor and stuff like that. Title 43, public lands. That's where lease comes up. Lease, leaseor, person, okay? Public buildings and public property, is where all of this stuff about the authority and the agency who can evict the people and all that stuff. That's how we found it. Consumer lease. This is the part I was looking for, 667. Not 664. Wow. You see where they define the lease? This is foreign trade and commerce. I need to correct this because it's foreign. Foreign commerce and trade is what Title 15 actually is. We're not foreigners.
Wait, say that again. Foreign commerce and what is?
Title 15. This is the section I was
trade.
Looking for. It's 1666.
Well, what'd you say? You said foreign commerce and trade is what? What is?
Yeah, it's Title 15. It's foreign commerce and trade. And if you ever get the book version, it will tell you that there was a revision that removed the word foreign, but it did not mean that it was applicable anywhere else or to anyone else just because they updated the name of the title by removing the word foreign. They did not remove the applicability to foreign.
That same principle applies when they define in the state as being land owned by or ceded to the government, and then they repeal that shit. Because they've done that in some territories.
All they would do is change the name, but they cannot change the applicability because they cannot make the applicability repugnant to the Constitution. It has to be consistent.
Exactly.
And the Constitution only has concern over public land, public persons, public property,
Right.
So here's my two things. One thing is like, okay, like how bro was like, oh, it's not about what the intent is, even though we all know all law specific specificity lies in the intent, but the judgment should be based on the actual use. My thing is what I'm seeing here, it's almost kind of like that, but it's in the form of the Midas touch. It's like, okay, but it's called the military touch. So if you're military, right? And wherever you go, if you touch a land conveyance, you touch an apartment, you touch a house, now that which you touch is under Title 10.
Right. Well, that's what Malika was saying about once you're a United States business, it don't matter where you go, you in the United States.
Correct. So that's exactly what I'm thinking there. And then I'm thinking, hold on, Malika, you just had something on the screen, though, that made me want to ask another question, because as I'm looking at what you're sharing and what you're saying, and I know I'm just having my emotional outbursts as I normally
I know this shit is amazing. I was outbursting when I was typing it up.
So I'm looking at, all right, so now that we're looking at this, right, my thing is, that's the second thing. How we did earlier about the annotated codes of Maryland, and the COMAR is the actual administrative code, where you have the Nevada revised statute is the legislature, but the Nevada administrative code. So on the federal level, let me see if I got this right, and I'm open for correction. The legislation is the Code of Federal Regulations, whereas the administrative code is the United States Code. Did I get that right?
Yeah, that's basically what I've gathered from it.
No, I think that's backwards. Hold on, say that again.
It's backwards?
Yeah, because I was saying the
Code of Federal Regulations
is the administrative.
As the Oh,
Yeah, the CFR because
it's the
because the
administration. Well, that's the application of it. So yeah.
right. So what I'm saying, when the statute originally goes into a USC, then
Yes.
the office is created, then that office creates the CFR.
Okay, so then like, all right, how when we was looking at in cancel CPS, how Title 45 Code of Federal Regulations authority is 5 USC 301. So that okay, so then that makes sense then. So the United States Code is the legislative part, and the administrative code is the CFR.
Executive is the executive carrying out of it.
Got you.
Or
Okay, sure.
that's another thing. Oh yeah, I just realized that's another thing, bro. Not all legislation is for the executive department. So, for example, they have 28 USC 1915 with the filing fees. That's the fucking judicial department carrying that out. So it's not necessarily executive. We get more than it is administrative.
Correct. Okay. So again,
because just because
interesting then. So what CFR is in harmony with, or what CFR is derived from 28 USC 1915 then? Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Okay, I got you. Right. So we can check the titles of CFRs, right? Chapters and titles, and go to 28. See if it's
seriously. I mean, I think it's worth it, because what we're doing here is not just, oh, look, Hasan, R, and Malika are way more intelligent than you guys. Actually, it's really just as simple as, something's not right. I got a hunch. Let me Google this real quick, and I knew that shit was some bullshit. That's really what you guys are seeing.
Yep. Okay. So are you screen sharing? Let me screen share.
No, it's open to you. Me normally go screen sharing. Got
you. All right. Look, 28. What did I say? It was 28 USC 1915, right? For the filing fees. So that would be 28 judicial administration. This is, for the record, CFR, Electronic Code of Federal Regulations, ECFR, right? Table of contents. So 28 judicial administration. And then it was like what, 1915? So it would be right here. Oh, wait, this ain't even going up to 1915. Hold on.
Right, because 1915 is under the United States Code. We're at CFRs.
Right, so I'm just looking for a match.
Right, how like the codes of Maryland, the administrative codes of Maryland derive their authority from the annotated codes of Maryland, like Nevada administrative code derives its authority from the Nevada revised statutes. That's what we're looking for here on the federal level, so that the people that are joining us can begin to roll these thoughts in their minds.
Here we go. Look, organizational units. The Department of Justice shall consist of the following principal organizational units. Boom. Office of the Attorney General, Office of Deputy Attorney General, Associate Attorney General, Solicitor General, Legal Counsel, Legislative Affairs, Professional. That's why I'm trying to tell people everything that the government is supposed to be doing is written in their statutes and codes, in their administrative codes, and in their legislative statutes, right? So it's just, so when you want to know what they're supposed to be doing, you go straight to, oh, who are they? Oh, what do they operate under? Oh, they're organized under Title 28. Okay, cool. Let's go see how they're organized. Boom. Their divisions, their bureaus, their boards.
Now, is it saying the authority now is coming from the Federal Register? Because that's a third level.
Federal investigation. Look,
Federal
Bureau.
Registry.
Look at, did you know that the FBI was under what is this? Judicial. What is this?
Under organizational unions. This is 28 CFR subsection.
They're under judicial administration.
Correct, for the Code of Federal Regulations.
Look at that. Because what this is all of the units, their offices, their divisions, their bureaus, and their boards under the judicial administration.
But so isn't 45 CFR what we was looking at, Malika, and cancel CPS though? It 45? Says it at the bottom. Scroll down, bro. Go back.
Oh, pardon me.
Go to the bottom of that. Look what's in brackets. Keep going to the bottom. See that? 45 CFR 43702.
Order number. But that just says FR, not CFR.
Which is, pardon me, 45. Okay,
Federal
correct.
Register. That's what that is.
That's what I was about to say. Hold on, man. What am I looking at? Okay,
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
I
that's
stand
Federal
corrected. I was loud and wrong.
No, you're
Okay,
good.
so I'm about to say, like, yo, hold up. But okay, no, we was looking at CFR for cancel CPS. All right, I'm just making sure because I'm like,
Well, what
hold
did
up.
it say about the court though? Hold on.
We were actually, that's why I said go check 28 USC 1915.
Yeah, because I don't even see nothing here about the district court.
That's what I'm saying, because that might be what it is. I'm going just off of memory, bro. Which I
What you
think
told me to look up?
28 USC 1915.
28 USC.
Because what I want to see is if one of them is going to say it derives its authority from this. Now we know the United States Code are coming from the statutes at large. That's why I was like, okay, so if the United States codes are derived from the statutes at large, which is public law, so it goes public law, then it trickles down the United States Code, and then the United States Code carried out by the Code of Federal Regulations. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's how I want to see the trickle down effect of like, oh, well, it leapfrogs from this, leapfrogs to that, leapfrogs to this. Like, because I think that comprehension is necessary.
Judiciary and judicial procedure. What did the other one was called? What's the other one called? The other one was called. This ain't even it.
Yeah, you're back on the United States Code. You had clicked on it and then you went somewhere else.
Yeah. CFR titles. Chapters. All right. So just to close the windows out here. All right. All right. So we have 28 for the USCs is judicial or is judiciary
And judicial procedure.
Yeah, and judicial procedures. And then for CFR 28 is judicial administration.
So
it does
that's
line
why.
up.
So, okay. So the administrative code then is the CFR.
Correct.
Yeah, the administrative code would be the CFR.
Correct.
That's like the application of it. And they got
Correct.
some powerful stuff in there. But anyway, I gotta run, guys. It's been
It's
real.
long. Appreciate you coming on.
Appreciate you, Malika.
Yeah, I'm about to have to go soon too. You already know it's about to be 2.
Yeah, I know.
But I just
travel
want to go
soon.
over this real quick so we can kind of see 1915. See, here's 1915. Proceedings in form. Oh, that's proceedings in form of pauperis. Filing fees is 1914.
Got you.
All right, so do they cite any CFRs? I don't think they do. CFR don't even appear on this entire page. So
because it's saying where it got its. That's why I think what's in brackets.
I know where it got its authority from.
What's in brackets under all of that? Scroll down a little bit, bro.
I see what you're saying. We shouldn't be looking here. We should be. This is only going to give you public law because these are the statutes.
Because that's where it's coming from. What's in the brackets is where it's coming from. Just like for the CFR, what's in the brackets was the FR.
Right, the Federal Register.
Correct.
Which means, but the Federal Register is where the USCs are printed. Is it not where the United States Code's printed?
Public law, statutes at large.
Right, statutes at large. Right, you're right. But they also so what is Federal Register then? Because I know that's
Federal Register is like when we looked up the due process for HUD. So because people can't be put out. So what was that? Volume number 57?
A daily publication of the U.S. federal government that issues proposed and final administrative regulations of federal agencies.
Right. It's almost like the rough draft before it's an actual published, like the Federal Register is like, okay, we're going to register this like this. So this is how we want this to be carried out. And then the CFR, which comes from the FR. So the Code of Federal Regulations come from the Federal Register. So the Federal Register is giving you the intent behind the Code of Federal Regulation. However, the Code of Federal Regulation, which is deriving its intent from the Federal Register, is enforcing the United States Code, which is derived from the statutes at large, which is the public law.
Which are the bills that turn into public laws.
That's why I'm like, we need to see the order of that.
That's that bird's eye view, bro.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And then recognize it doesn't fucking apply to us. You don't just say, well, I'm Moorish American. It doesn't apply to me. No, you got to be able to be so fucking sharp jurisprudently to show the people, hey, these are your fucking rules. Hint the title of this live. Rules for who? Rules for who? Part 2. You see what I'm saying? Rules for who? Part 2. Because the rules aren't for us. What you're supposed to do is make sure that you're an upstanding American citizen. Make sure that you're not, doing bullshit to people. Make sure you're being a sincere, true, and faithful Moorish American or subject thereto. Because when you really know the history and the law, guys, you know exactly what's really going on this fucking planet. And then there's outside. Okay, now let's just say Moorish Americans only. Besides 7HealStar, what other Moorish Americans are freely sharing this with you guys like this? Freely. Don't I and Brother Aura come to you guys with civics every Friday and Sunday? And then the rest of 7HealStar, we come with you with astrology every Monday and Wednesday. I mean,
and then jurisprudence class on a Tuesday and Thursday.
On a Tuesday and Thursday with Mother Malika. Like, guys, are you serious? Who's doing this? Are you still giving your energy to debt discharge L and security party creditor base? Are you really still doing that? We don't even ask you for nothing, guys. And you guys think that you would even offer us anything? We don't even ask for it. We just watch you.
Hey, they out here chasing alternative package sellers.
Alternative package sellers. Our eleemosynary tuition for a mirror session is worth $330 an hour, 990 units per mirror session. And we only ask for 153 out of love for you. However, we can't sit here and die from you not exchanging energy due to the occupation on the land because of the abundance of ignorance and incompetence for most of the people on the planet. See the occupation we're under? See the military operations under Title 10 that are on you? Brother Taj's lectures are making a lot more sense to y'all now, ain't it? But Brother Taj not gonna go into it like this because he's not gonna micromanage you. We're only gonna go over a few points here for you to do your own studies later on. We're doing those studies later on. Are you getting those lectures now? It's not unlike I'm trying to tell you.
Yep.
Seriously. What are we doing this year, guys? Really, what are we doing? Are we that proud that, oh, Malika doesn't have on a turban, so we're not going to go there? That's not taking your place amongst the affairs of men.
Oh, before I forget, jeez.
Moor's been civilizing the world no matter where they went. Remember when we civilized those Albions and bathed them? You remember that part? So don't be sitting here trying to knock, oh, well, that mother doesn't have on a turban, and how is it that she knows law? I'll put it like this. Point out one of them debt discharging L's and secure party creditor base that's not going to ask you for finances first or talk slick to you or call you nigger, Negro, black, colored first before they assist you.
Guess I'll share this now because I know we're getting close to the end. Just real quick. Las Vegas judge who resigned to avoid ethics hearing dies by suicide.
Was that the appropriate time to do the Nelson? Read it again. Can you read that title again, please? Please, before you click on that, can you read that title one
Las
time?
Vegas judge who resigned to avoid ethics hearing dies by suicide.
Was that right? Was that appropriate?
Yeah, I think it's appropriate because these people know what they've been doing for years. But check this out.
Is it possible? Oh yeah, you about to, okay, cool. I'm not sure. I don't think we're getting the sound. Is it just me?
Okay, hold on.
Somebody wants to call me right now. Let's see who it is. Yes, I think you have the wrong number, actually. Sorry, please. Yeah, no T is here.
Yo, so can you do it? Because I can't do it. So I'll send it again, I guess. Or I'll
Hold
put
on.
it in
Oh, you want me to share it? Oh, fuck yeah.
It's not gonna play the sound for me. That's what I'm realizing. It's always doing that.
All right. So is it in the chat? Did you put it in a Zoom chat?
I'm doing it. I'm putting it in the Zoom chat right now. It's in there.
Yes, sir. Let me bring the live chat back up so I can see what everybody's saying. All right. Let me go to the chat.
And the Earlta is actually the Ruralta because it's rural. Is the first word in it actually?
Mm-hmm. It almost looks like ultra, but with the like L. Hold on. But yeah. Really, the T.
The R is supposed to be after the T, not before the L.
Yeah, basically.
That's the only letter you got to move is the R.
The R
behind the T.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, You're exactly correct. Right. Let me share the screen first, right? And then I'll go to the chat. Right. Boom. Go to the chat and click on the open link for this here. Right. All righty.
There's a video down there if you scroll down a little bit.
Las Vegas judge who resigned to avoid ethics hearing dies by suicide. What if she reincarnates just to go through that ethics hearing?
She didn't want to do it alive. I thought she'd want to do it dead.
Oh,
or
no,
resurrected.
Like, as soon as she dies, she reincarnated into a baby, right? And then in her life, if she's about to grow up as a baby, she's got to be a judge again who has an ethics hearing.
Oh yeah, oh no, you're right. That's crazy, right? Yeah.
That would be so fucking hilarious.
There's that video.
If you have dentures, have you experienced a situation where they fall out because they're loose or they just don't fit? Are you sick of the goopy, nasty, can't clean my denture glue? I'm Dr. Chris Ward with the Dental Implant.
Right?
Yeah.
She's a local judge. By night, she was working on her own investigation to save her daughter.
The I-Team's Vanessa Murphy has an exclusive interview with Judge Melanie Tobiasen.
Well, behind the scenes, there was a decision to make for the judge. Does she share her story, which may seem more like a movie, or does she keep it out of the public eye? Well, she chose to break her silence.
I didn't care. I would lose my job over this. I would lose my freedom over this. I would lose my life over this.
As a mother, Judge Melanie Andres Tobiasen put her job on the line to save her daughter from sex trafficking.
The only reason I didn't go public earlier is because I was trying to protect my daughter because no one else was going to.
She says in 2015, her teenage daughter started working at a now closed store in Chinatown. She started looking into it, noticed several red flags, and staked out the place. She tells the I-Team she believes it was a front for prostitution. A clothing store by day, more like a club by night.
I spent hours. I mean, I would go, I would watch, I would get license plate numbers, I would get makes and models of cars, I would follow people, I would get information about where they would go, where they lived, where they, I never used inappropriate means to get information. I did it all myself.
While she watched the store, she says she tried to learn more about Shane Valentine, a violent felon who was in contact with her daughter. She eventually recused herself from a case against him in her courtroom because of that personal connection to her child.
Even having the discussion with her that if one of these guys were to get her, I would get her back, but it might require something other than going to the police because I already knew at that point they weren't helping me.
And when you
It might require something other than going to the police. Bang, bang, she shot him down. That's what it sounds like she's saying, but anyway.
Yeah.
Say, get her. What does that mean?
I mean, make her work as a prostitute for them. Force her into prostitution.
The judge says she informally reached out to the detectives she knew who investigate prostitution in the Vice unit several times, even when they came to her to approve search warrants for other cases.
I mean, it's not wrong to give police officers information. There's nothing inappropriate or wrong about that. I gave it, quite frankly, anytime I would do a Vice search warrant, I would tell the Vice detective about what was going on in hopes that maybe at some point somebody would pay attention and care. In hindsight, do I wish I had handled it differently? Yeah, but the reality is I was trying to provide information without my daughter knowing, because if she knew, she wasn't going to give me any more information. She certainly was. I was treading a very fine line of trying to keep my daughter close to me and not letting somebody get her.
Tobiasen describes a lack of action by Metro and says her frustration eventually reached Sheriff Joe Lombardo. She claims they met and she provided these memos to the I-Team.
That is the former sheriff, now known as the governor of the state of Nevada. He wasn't helping her. Now he's the governor. But I just want to state that point.
Oh, wow, because he has a stake in the sex traffic ring of her daughter?
Possibly.
Got you. So somebody else who needs to pick their favorite color noose to be hung in.
Yeah.
Got you.
One from a vice lieutenant and the other from a captain addressed to the sheriff listing contacts with the judge. But still, Tobiasen says she didn't get the help she wanted, and then she realized possibly why. As the I-Team has been reporting, former Star Vice Cop Chris Boffman and several detectives who worked with him were being investigated by the FBI. The allegations: cops working with pimps to take out competition, sleeping with prostitutes, and covering it up. Tobiasen believes if Vice detectives investigated her tips, they'd be investigating criminals they were partnering with. She also points to recent plea deals for pimps handed out by the Clark County District Attorney's Office.
It's unfortunate because it's a very small percentage of the people in the DA's office and at Metro, but it makes the whole entire system look corrupt.
The judge is concerned about her safety. She claims a detective outed her and her daughter during an interview with a possible witness after she provided confidential information. She points to a double homicide in October of 2016. Shane Valentine, who's now serving time in prison for another violent crime, was named a person of interest. And she believes Valentine and his associates recruit girls like her daughter, children of judges and cops, to sell sex. She tells the I-Team she's continued connecting with people, but instead of police, she says she turned to prostitutes and pimps for information.
The problem is I don't think we're in danger from the pimps anymore. I'm more afraid of the Vice detectives and those who are trying to cover this up. That's what I'm afraid of now.
We reached out to both Metro Police Department and the Clark County District Attorney's Office, and we've received no comment. Back to you.
All right. Thank you, Vanessa.
So, but it says that they got all that footage of her before she committed suicide. Did I got that correct?
My grass can use a few extra days of watering.
No more excuses. Lake Mead is at his
Do I got that correct?
Water
Or
only
did
one
he
day
struggle
away in
this
winter.
lady
It's the
and
law.
say that because usually when somebody dies by suicide, they call it commit suicide.
Right. Exactly.
Dies by suicide sounds like somebody labeled it that after they did something else to make her stop having her heart pump the liquid called blood.
Yo, absolutely. The way I see it is, she was being a so-called judge and breaking the law every day. But now when someone breaks the law against your family member, now you don't like it. To the point where she was adjudicating a case of a dude that was, trying to pimp her daughter and had to recuse herself.
Pimping.
Pimping.
Just
so
saying.
At the end of the day, she may have been trying to cross over to the good side, but she got caught with one foot on one side and one on the other because they're looking at her as a traitor. That's how they're gonna look at her. Why? Because they're doing some shit. They're on the same team technically.
So now you don't agree with
Now
your
you ain't
daughter
with it?
sucking dick like you suck dick?
Now you
but
ain't
she
with
should
it.
be.
So yeah, bro.
I'm not.
Shit
Hold on 1 second. I'm not being mean as much as my mind moves so fast and how these people are doing what they're doing. And at the end of the day, it sounds like she would much rather her daughter be, a whore as a judge, like her mom. Okay, anyway, go ahead, Ayo. What'd you say?
Somebody in the chat said she was suicided.
She was suicided. That's actually really fucking funny, actually. That's pretty funny. Get out of here, man. Somebody put 28 CFR 11, bro. Should we?
Real quick.
All right, let's see. 28 CFR.
Are you
sure?
It
said 0.11.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go with
0.11.
11 here.
Oh yeah, I don't know why it's 0.11. Did you miss some there, Barry? Debt collection. Interesting. Oh, that's a whole section. Subparts. So yeah, I'm not sure which one you're pointing at.
This one interests right here. I knew it. I fucking knew it. That's what I was looking for. Bing!
Military department, fine in 5 USC. That's so crazy. Oh, department. Oh no, they say a military department as defined in 5 USC, but they didn't put military as a hyperlink.
Title 5 United States Code is employees. The United States Postal Service and the Postal Rate Commission.
Oh, it's telling you what agency means, right?
Okay, I'll click on it. Bang!
It's everything we just looked at.
Technically. Right?
Yeah. JM in the chat says shoe on the other foot. Exactly. She was like, crimes being committed against your child is a problem to where you're willing to risk your life for it. Or crime committed against a natural mind, natural man, right?
Mm-hmm.
You wanna war against the Constitution.
Now I don't agree with like remember, people got to volunteer to be a whore or a pimp. That's your business. Do your business. That has nothing to do with me. However, did I go ha ha? Yeah, I'm just saying, because it's actually pretty funny, because it's like, hey lady, you had a choice in life and you thought being a so-called judge or something and not staying in good behavior didn't have consequences. Stuff like that makes me realize even further that this is a divine and national movement.
Just like that other so-called speaking of, bro, I forgot to show the oath. This is how I could show this is how I can prove that she has done criminal activity, just besides the fact we could go look at all her dockets. But let me show this real quick. I know I sent it to myself, and then I don't know if you want to yield after that.
Very intelligent was saying 28 USC is district court fees. Oh, that's what. Yeah, we already did kind of look that up, right? Okay, yeah, we did kind of look that up actually. Okay, got you.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. But okay, so very intelligent is just basically kind of stenographically putting out what was mentioned already. So that's pretty cool.
Gotcha. All right, so if you guys look closely at this, can you see the screen, bro?
Hold on, let me hit the okay on mine. Yes.
Right. I know it's a little blurry, but this is her name right here. Because remember, her name was
exactly what's on that fucking paper.
Melanie and Andres Tobiasen, right?
Yeah, that's what's on that oath.
This is her oath of office. I got this in 2020. You see this? I got her oath back in 2020. This is a certified copy stamp. They stamp it with the date that you get it. January 2020, I got this. Look at this signature right here, guys. That is the M. You see that? Then you see the whatever this is, but that's her signature. Now,
it
what
looks
I want
like it's the A. It's like it's supposed to be an A for Andres.
right. And Tobiasen or whatever. However, this is how she does her signature. But what I want you to notice, also look at this. This is the notary who did this. It's Dolores Williams. Remember that. All right. Now this is for her judge oath of office, right? Now peep this. This is someone else. Who is this?
That looks like Karen Bennett.
All right. Now peep the signature.
That looks like Tobiasen's signature again.
Let's just make sure. Not tripping. Matter of fact, here's the two oaths. So you can kind of see them both at once. The two signatures. Pardon me. Look at this signature. Look at this signature. Exactly the same, right?
Yes. Click that first one again. It looks like it's a bias and it's separated a little further on Karen's.
Now that it's lit up, you can see them both. This is one. This is the other. This is Karen. This is Tobiasen.
Yeah, they're two totally different written signatures.
Different written signatures, but the same name.
Yeah, but the pen stroke is definitely different on the second one than from the first because the T in Tobiasen's autograph is
a little more separate
away
out
from the Andres. Like watch when you zoom in. See
there's a hyphen
and the T. Scroll up. That shit is like right next to it's not the pen stroke is definitely different.
So it's not they didn't copy it, but so someone signed the same signature on two different oaths. But it seems to be her signature. So I'm thinking this oath is that's not right. And look, it's the same being doing the oath. The same what you call it, notary.
Correct.
Now, at the time that I requested this oath is because this lady was acting up. Karen Bennett was trying to violate me, right? So I got her oath, and I'm like, that's not even her name. So I'm like, who is that? So I started looking up all the judges with the letter M, and then I found Melanie, and then I found her oath, and I'm like, that's the same signature. Well, guess what? Dolores Williams, at the time that this went down, was Karen Bennett's clerk of court. She was her clerk.
So she's our clerk and she's a notary?
She was the notary in 2016. In 2020, she was the clerk for the court. So they know each other. They're cool. They're buddies. They're homies. So not only is she's certifying a false document, and then she's being your clerk and doing everything else she was doing. But this just to show the people of the type of shit that goes down. I know everybody's watching already knows, but it's just wild. Like, these people be doing business with each other for a long time, just like the lady from Public Utilities Commission said, oh, we've been doing business with NV Energy for years. I'm not going to ask the attorney to show authority. What?
This song's dedicated to Melanie in that gangster lean. No, I'm sorry. Why'd you have to go so soon? Stop. It seems like yesterday we were railroading guys from the hood. So bang, bang, bang. That's the gavel of injustice. Yo. Oh, man. I mean, what do you guys think? Let's see. What they said in the chat, man. Somebody said death by assignment. Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. Federal Register is the intent. Very intelligent is still like, look, man, I'm still on my studies.
Yeah, that's right.
Respect that, very intelligent. Like, I'm still in my studies and just make sure I'm stenographically putting this stuff in the chat appropriately. That's cool. Right. I can't knock that. Man, shout out to all of you. Shout out to Mother Sahar, Mother Barbara Bay, very intelligent. Shout out to brother Bruce Cope Bay, brother Derek Blash Bay, mother Janelle Blash L, Tyro Bay. He's the wizard. That's R. Brooks. All right, that's brother R. Brooks Bay. You know what I'm saying? Antonio Bay. Shout out to Mother Malika, right? Her and her beautiful family, right? Shout out to you guys for being awesome. Yaya, shout out to you for showing up. Thank you guys, JM. All of you guys, Silver the Moor. Yes, Buffy. Your tail is knocking stuff down. What? Sit down, Buffy. Jesus. Pet me, rub me. I want to be rubbed, Daddy. It's okay. Relax, man. Just relax. Jesus. You can hear his tail hitting him. Anyway.
Ready to do this invocation?
Say that.
Or it's
Say that
actually
again.
me that's got to do it, right?
Hold on, what'd you say, bro?
It's actually me that's got to do the invocation out, right?
Yeah, you gotta do, because I know you gotta go get Nisi Poo, man. Hey guys, you got any questions, comments, and no suggestions, you can still put them in the chat or put them in the comments for later. Because I'm tight, Buffy. Jesus. Let me back up. You ain't got pee again, do you? Where you going? And I'll put my chair right there. Come around. I'm out of there. Yeah, there you go. All right. Buffy, yes. See, these will know every time it's about to be the end of our lives, bro. He can tell every time, bro. All right, here we go. Guys, going to face east, stand on the 45. You're going to put 5 appendages on your left hand fully extended, just the index in the middle extended on the right. And what we're going to do, we are going to face east, which is symbolic metaphysically to going within, right? And we're going to repeat after our beloved brother R. Bey. Islam. Islam.
Islam. Allah, the Father of the universe.
Allah, the Father of the universe.
Father of love.
Father of love.
Truth.
Truth.
Peace.
Peace.
Freedom.
Freedom.
And justice.
And justice.
Allah is my protector.
Allah is my protector.
My guide.
My guide.
And my salvation.
And my salvation.
By night.
By night.
And by day.
And by day.
Holy Prophet.
It was Holy Prophet.
Noble Drew Ali.
Noble Drew Ali.
Amen.
Guys, if you guys wanted access to the dictionaries that we have in our law library, I put Prophet Noble Drew Ali's university link in there. I know when I go and do this description, I'll put Lawful Living in the description also. Shout out to Malika again, Sonny, and all their loved ones there out near the Washington State Republic. Shout out to my beloved brother R. Bey for bringing that fire as always. And now you guys can further research the statutes near you and the administrative codes near you. Remember to rub your buppies because they want you to rub them when you're in the middle of lives. But anyway, make sure you guys just do your due diligence. Do what you need to do to make sure that you have what it is that you need for you and your loved ones to protect yourselves. Stop listening to these so-called gurus or whatever that do nothing but want to just get in your pockets or purse or vagina, because they just pimp in with more science, right? So make sure you guys do your due diligence and study and be consistent in your studies. It's not an overnight thing. It's not microwave results. However, you just got to be consistent and be diligent, all right? That's what it is. Right, Buppy? Right? You got anything else to say, bro? I know you got to go get Nisi, bro.
Oh, yeah, no, everything you said, man, is the truth. People need to take heed. People need to look it up, cross-reference, and fact-check for themselves.
Indeed. Indeed. Come here. You being such a baby. Come here, baby. Come here. See, I'm being a big baby. I just want to be a big baby. I'm being a big baby. I'm a baby. I'm being such a big baby. He loves. Oh, God. He just wants me to get down on the ground with him and just rub him. I'm being a big baby. All right. Love you all. You enjoy yourselves. Let me say namaste, namaste, namaste. Bro, I'm going to talk to you because tomorrow is Saturday. We probably do that study thing we saw over the bros. Guys, got questions, comments, and no suggestions. Remember, hit us up on Instagram or any other social media that we're on. All righty. 7HealStar.com. Right? Sign up for the email list.
One Heart Supplements.
Exactly. We just ordered some sea moss from Brother Corey last night too. Boom, you're exactly correct. Go to One Heart Supplements on Instagram. Get your sea moss. What, Buppy? Why are you so excited? Get your sea moss on Instagram, One Heart Supplements. Aura Muwaba Bay on Instagram. Is Aura_Muwaba_Bay, right, bro? On your Instagram.
Correct, yep.
Also, we're on TikTok. Aura Muwaba Bay, 7HealStar, Astrology Street on TikTok, OurAstrologyStreet. You guys see all the things that's out there, guys. It'll be in the description 9 times out of 10. We thank you all for joining us. Thank you all for sticking around. And yeah, shout out to Brother Taj and all the other elders that were sincerely shared with us. Brother Taj Tariq Bey,
Supreme honors to
Mother
the Prophet.
Rashida Bey, huh?
Supreme honors to Prophet Noble Drew Ali. You already know.
Of course, first and foremost, Supreme honors to Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Charles Mosley Bey for being awesome as he is with the documentation. Brother Taj, Mother Delilah, Mother Rashida, Mother Ras Mariah for at least you know what I'm saying, like just being consistent. You know what I mean, putting out the books and stuff that we were able to get, and hopefully a lot of you guys still be able to get your hands on it. And those that stayed consistent and then end up being phony. You know what I mean? Shout out to you. So with that being said, guys, we love you. Enjoy yourselves. And we'll say Islam to you all. Who said no sound? Was that very intelligent? Said no sound? Oh, no, we good. I think that was from before we had started the Moorish American prayer.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, it is what it is. So this is when we say namaste to you all. Namaste, namaste, namaste. Islam, 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 y'all. Peace and love.
Your love, bro.
Travel safely, bro.